I feel like is sort of close to the middle ground. I could be wrong here. I don't play the character too often nowadays, but you do actually want to pay attention to those houses a little bit and try to kill them if you do have the time.
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely one of the things where I could tell somebody is familiar with the Jacko matchup if I see them press a 2P or press a 2K during block strings just to clear the goons off of them or do some damage to the houses. So,
and kind of wondering if there is anything else Mei has that can really deal with the house as well, but I don't think there's particularly anything. Oh, and a nice slide.
Finds himself in the corner here. Yeah, gonna just start up the pressure to the Uzame. Gray getting away with a lot of jumping here, though. Roth not quite able to catch those jump outs.
Yeah, that kind of corner pressure gets really scary when you're playing Jacko. There's a lot more you can do, but it involves a lot of generally air throwing, which again is a little bit difficult for new players.
When the Gray B combo protects off, I think Roth a little bit used to Mei players might maybe going for the 2H tech off the wall. So honestly, not a bad idea just to take the hit, even if it's a black beat. If you're because like getting countered by that 2H tech trap can basically end the round, no matter what character you are.
Yeah, just tons of skirmishes for now. I think this will be a recurring theme in this tournament.
5D reset. Is that going to be? Yep, just barely enough to kill. Wasn't sure if that little mage goon might have messed up that combo, but
and 2 houses up, so that's really good for spending time as well. And round start, 6H.
Yeah, trying to Roth really looking with the 6H just to try to catch Gray jumping, but not working out with Mei's very fast jump arc.
Yeah, Mei not an easy character to end here, even if you do have a decent 6P or the likes.
Yeah, you kind of have to almost jump up and air throw her. It's your only real anti-air, or be honestly directly under her. And of course, messing up your anti-air can lead to a lot of damage, so it's fairly scary. I like what Roth is doing here, though, where they just kind of backed off and set down some houses while Gray was there at full screen. Ooh, not a good burst, though. You're a round up, buddy. Go ahead and go to the next round with that.
Guilty Gear is a game that really encourages you to go in a lot of times, but there are certain scenarios like this where, yeah, you can just kind of hang back, and there's not really too much of a motivation to go in, necessarily. And Jacko is definitely one of those characters that really plays by that idea.
Yeah, I mean, every moment that Jacko just has a house out on the field, the house is getting stronger and it's spawning goons. So, I mean, definitely a reason to just kind of sit back and block out. Finally gets that 6H, but no combo off of it. Wasn't ready, but the tick throw.
Yeah, and they reset into a throw.
Oh, I think Roth looking for the air grab there, just whiffed the jumping heavy.
Yeah, that was a huge opportunity too, since since they have 3 houses up right now.
Yep.
Getting those 4D confirms is going to be really. That's some really bad timing.
Yeah. I think Roth is starting to get a little bit more confident there, but that's too much confidence. Definitely don't want to throw it all away based on a read with a charge blitz attack. Gray holds onto their burst and gonna die with it.
Yeah, that does combo.
1-1. Yeah, of course, that is the throw. So if burst just kind of would have gone out with an aplomb there.
Is it a throw though?
I think it is. I believe you can throw. Yeah, okay. So I believe it would throw a burst.
Jacko's 360p, and I unmuted myself on the stream for this, is actually a throw or a hit, depending on what situation you use it in.
Oh, okay. So it's not like pots.
I think it's only the air version. I think the ground version.
Nope, both versions work that way.
I see.
Huh? I've seen pot buster through it though. Okay. Well, all right. So burst fails. Unfortunate. Doesn't get the hit confirmed.
Yeah, really early bursts. You tend to see those from a lot of characters who have lower health.
Yeah, and especially like Jacko here, like that one early burst means she gets a chance to get another burst, and it gives her time again just to get her goons up out on the field. Ooh, Gray waking up, swinging.
And you do have to start to wonder what Jacko's options are in neutral when Mei is just kind of hanging back as well. You don't really want to go in and do like a 2S or anything necessarily.
Yeah, but you need to go in. You need to kind of create a spacing against Mei where it's unsafe for her to be summoning, but also not so close that you're just getting into scrambles with her. Roth ended up squeezing out the round, just going for these tick throws, and Gray's starting to sniff them out, starting to press buttons on them, but not getting every single one. And
Yeah, so far they've been working out fairly well. Another really early burst.
yeah, I mean, Gray being around down here right now, that could be the only burst they get.
And a lot of really stray hits, and not a lot of them connecting into knockdowns. A really essential part of Guilty Gear overall is getting those knockdowns into pressure.
Yeah, I'd say definitely first thing to always look for when you're learning Guilty Gear is convert off your knockdowns. And I mean, a big part of this NKO tournament series is getting used to being able to do that while under the pressure of a tournament, because who buddy doing it in casual matches and doing it in a tournament match are totally different things.
Yeah, on top of that, just doing it in a casual match and doing it in training mode are also two entirely different beasts. So there's a lot going on that you have to consider. That is going to be Roth taking the game though, and this is
2-1, so...
Do we have more Jackal players in NKO?
Yeah, Oxy does play Jacko, but obviously streaming and entering at the same time can be kind of difficult.
Yeah.
We definitely used to have some more Jacko players, Phoebe, but I don't believe they've entered for a bit.
Is that
Was that an accidental rematch? Y'all. All right, I think they accidentally timed out. Yeah, there we go.
okay?
You ain't in finals yet.
Oh, and which matches are best of 5?
So best of 5 will be all finals. So winners, losers, grands.
I see. Okay. Ooh, this is Zato versus Heian. So one of Zato's few. How biased can I be? Let's see. One of Zato's.
Buddy, I'm out here cheering every jam player we see.
All right, one of Zato's better matchups. One of his few, if I may. Zato in general has a lot of tools that can keep Heian out very effectively with just his normals, which is huge. He doesn't necessarily need Eddie to play neutral somewhat efficiently. And we're probably going to see 5P, 2P, or 2S when we start, or just block, that's good too.
Ooh, there's the ballsy Shinken, a good conversion there from Puddin's getting the counter into the drill and just kind of setting up the spacing now. Loses Eddie there, and this is kind of Quint's chance to try to chase down Puddin.
Yeah,
Gets in there.
Really unfortunate grab into a burst. Another really early one.
Yeah, I don't blame him on that one.
Yeah, and Zato, I also got to mention, Zato does have a really good JD that can catch a lot of aerial approaches, and doing the air, what's it called? The air kick special.
Those can be dealt, I think it is.
Yeah, those can be dealt with extremely efficiently with just the jump JD, and the reward is pretty good too off the counter it.
Yeah, I was going to say that in Jam versus Haeyoon, a notably bad matchup for Jam, but if Haeyoon ever goes in the air, Jam is able just to do kind of whatever she wants and will beat out most of Haeyoon's options. Obviously, having those strong air-to-air options, even without strong anti-air options, is important in this matchup.
Yeah, and that kind of situation is a little bit awkward to convert off of as Zato. You do just kind of want to end with a 2D if possible. It does sacrifice a lot of damage.
I did really like the backdash into immediately summon Nobiru, saw Quinn air dashing at him, and just threw out Nobiru just to put up the wall and stop sign. It's really good awareness from Puddin's there to recognize that, hey, my opponent's trying to take the advantage here, I'm going to stop that.
Yeah, Zato really a character that is full of burden of execution in a way that if you don't know how to do your set play very accurately, it can really be not good for a gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't get quite as much reward off of what you should be getting when you just can't do the proper set play. And there's a stun, yeah. Quinn got RC'd in order to confirm and got a couple good counter hits. Now, I mean, unfortunately, losing Eddie like that, kind of going to wrap up that round. But Zato definitely, I feel like a character that could come back from that situation. Get him to hold on to his burst.
Yeah, dizzy situation is also something you do want to kind of practice beforehand when you're a new player in Guilty Gear. They are your biggest opportunities for the damage after all, and those are the ones you do want to practice early on.
Of course, because Quint didn't quite have enough meter to start with the Blitz starter, which is generally your best option when you get somebody stunned. It takes away some of their burst meter. an incredibly powerful starter if you can max charge it.
Yeah, you
But
do also have to
obviously no
consider
meter.
Heian has a little bit of an awkward time comboing in the corner. That's a good pickup though, and that's going to be just low
He's
into more
good
pressure.
blocking and good Abare who disrespects the red fireball, fights his way out of it. Really good awareness there. Ooh, but gets a gold burst.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. A lot of meter to deal with now.
Yeah, but it's
Oh,
just putting out the
unfortunate.
drill and Quint puts their finger into it.
Yeah, you know how annoying those drills are when they're right in front of you but they don't hit.
Yeah, you just kind of get locked into a proxy guard. Good 2P on the little Eddie. And just going to take back a ton of momentum, forces the burst out.
Yeah, Heian, of course, one of the best 2Ps in the game. It's just a
Yeah,
general
poor
poke.
frame far slash essentially. Ooh, nice air throw. One of Zato's best anti-airs. Going to set up Eddie. Can you
Yeah,
block
this-
the corner pressure?
This is going to be
Gets
really hard to
caught
get
by
out
the
of.
overhead, and one hit was all Puddin's needed there.
Yeah, a lot of the ways that you deal with Zato pressure are going to be ones that require a lot of practice. So these are going to be like wake up backdash, blitz in very specific situations after IB. These are really difficult to put into your game plan as a new player. So one thing I do say a lot to people who are trying to deal with Zato is you got to mash a lot, which is really sad to say, but it is kind of the case.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's something that I think is for newer players a little bit harder to understand, where you have to accept that like sometimes mashing you're gonna get hit and you're gonna get punished, and you might lose some life bar, but in the end it was actually a win because you killed Eddie, and by killing Eddie it kind of forces Zato to be like, well, now I have to stall until I can play my game again.
Yeah, card game players will understand this very well, but you're trading your life as a resource, and
Yeah,
you're spending
exactly.
that to gain the huge advantage. And that's
Yeah.
another really early burst.
Yeah, speaking of
trademark
huge
Zato's.
advantage, just run up and throw at round start. I think Puddin's over-respecting the round start 6H, and just Quint sniffed it out. Already took off half of Puddin's life bar here.
I'd like to see how Quint is going to deal with a lot of these drills in neutral. They are a huge pain for anyone who isn't used to Zato, and getting knocked down by them is really game-changing, honestly.
Yeah, just kind of getting Zato a free knockdown with one of those drills really opens up a lot of them. The Grandpa Viper just blows right through Eddie. Yeah, it's definitely going to be one option.
Yeah, I could have went for a meter extension to finish him off, but that is going to kill anyways with the grab.
Yeah, I mean, definitely one of those things where it's like summoning Grandpa Viper. Okay, it's gonna. You got your one of the set. I don't want to say it's gonna work against Puddin's again. Puddin's using that far slash there. Ooh, trades with the Nobiru, I think is actually what happened there.
Yeah, and that unfortunately isn't going to provide as good of a reward as Zato wants, but this is another drill knockdown.
Yeah, just mashing that 2P, trying to kill Little Eddie. Gets the throw. Disrespects the fuzzy.
And honestly, these mix-ups from knockdowns that Heian is doing are been pretty solid so far.
I do want to say though that throw into Red Roman cancel combo, the issue with that is at this point Quint now has very little meter compared to Puddin's, and because he didn't really get much off the throw Red RC, he kind of ended up in a really bad situation.
Oh, the Invo going past bursts.
Yeah, scary bursting those kick loops, but important.
Yeah, and good looking out for the puddles as well. Killing those also a huge point in this matchup.
It's the combo, it black beats, but hey, we take those.
Yeah, those are not real combos.
I'm not sure. Hey, Hune, one of those big body heavyweights, so I'm sure you're going to have to adjust your combo slightly on him anyway, so. Okay, whatever ends the round. Now, of course, Puddin's playing this round. Basically, no burst to their name, so not likely to get it back, I'd say. Hey, Hune, definitely a character that can do a lot of damage. Ooh,
Yeah,
but the JD gets the wall bounce.
And this is another huge opportunity.
Puddin's getting a lot of work out of the Abare 2S there. When just not able to counter poke that. And of course, that's a move with a really big hitbox, but also a big hurt box. So it's one of those things where by throwing out a poke that is going to guarantee to whiff, you can usually actually hit Zato out of it.
Yeah, and crucially, both of these players are having success knocking down into pressure, which we haven't seen which we haven't seen too much of in the past set. But it's so important to emphasize how necessary it is to know how to mix in this game. But that is going to be
FD the drill. Yeah, I mean, really bad situation there for Quint. Like, you basically you're forced to FD every single thing. Zato doesn't at that point.
Going to go up.
Yeah. So good showing for Puddin's. He's definitely been showing, putting in work and really showing showing up at these events. So
Yeah,
definitely
thought it
placing.
was a high effort character, so I'm glad people are sticking with him.
So next we're gonna have Elidus versus Shining Spear, some Kai versus Dizzy action.
Ooh, lore matchup. So one of the traps that beginner players fall into when playing Dizzy, they see that Dizzy has really good air movement, and then they start to really abuse the way that they use it in neutral. So you'll see a lot of like air dash back, air dash forwards, and they start to become really predictable with how they approach the enemy.
I'd also pointed out it's hard for Dizzy to really get her knockdown from an air hit. So whenever she's in the air too, it's kind of hard for her to get that good knockdown without a jump in. So by just like, but the misspacing on the stun dipper, good punish from Elidus being aware to punish it. If it stands too close, it gets thrown.
And Dizzy also a character with a lot of character-specific Oki, so we'll have to see how efficient he can be with these.
Just trying to get away here, trying to make space. Elidus definitely, I've played against them a bunch and seen them play a bunch. Definitely a player that just tries to get away and set up in zone. But of course, I feel like some of the best Dizzy players are Dizzy players willing to go in and kind of swing a little bit. And there's the stun dipper, doesn't bait the burst off the RC though. Alright, has Kai in the corner. Gonna get some
does manage to knock down. And I don't think we've seen a Ice Spike YRC yet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to say that's a bad thing right now. Ice Spike YRC, incredibly powerful tool, but it's one of those things where it's like kind of like Stun Edge YRC or Stinger YRC, where it becomes very easy for a newer player to over-rely on it. So they end up just using it, burning their 25 meter as soon as they get it every time, then never have meter. So honestly, maybe not a bad habit to not pick up quite yet, and just play without it for a while until you can start learning how to use your meter better.
Yeah, and these air approaches really paying off for Dizzy right now.
Ooh, good air there. RC's immediately going to get the knockdown from it. Again, no knockdown, but again, it's one of those things where burning meter every time you get a hit, not necessarily the best thing.
Yeah, saving meter, a really important part of build here, and one of the most difficult parts too, is just managing a meter overall. And it definitely takes a lot of time trying to figure out what to do with the attention.
It's one of those things where it's just like, because there's no the direct reward of spending meter is doing more damage, you might want to do it every single time, but you got to think there is a late game to fighting games. Like, it's not just a matter of things happening all the time. There is a beginning, middle, and end to every round. So
yeah, not a bad burst either, but this might get Kai hit. Yeah,
that's definitely gonna get punished. Yeah, and Kai now sitting full screen, gonna get in past these, but no, they track.
Would have liked to see a stun dipper that might have worked better.
Yeah, Stun Dipper might have gotten underneath or would have caught Elidus blocking high, so...
It would have been the most typical Kai thing to do there. Yeah, another Dizzy trap I see people fall into is ending all their strings with Ice Spike. And I'm glad I'm not seeing too much of that right now, so...
Yeah, of course, Ice Spike, while it offers knockdown, on if it's blocked or you don't hit confirm, not too good. So Fish covers the stun edge.
So this is also really good pressure, and they are managing to get the Oki properly, which is really good news.
Yeah, gets the Okizeme and the overhead. Yeah, that fully charged 6H, kind of like Maze, where it becomes an overhead. I will say it's probably like one of the easier ways for Dizzy to get an overhead in her string, but it's also relatively slow compared to everything else she has. So, and there's the Greed Sever, gonna catch the low mash. All right, just gonna super make some space.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to recover, but this does give Dizzy time.
It goes in, they're gonna RC it. Can he get a knockdown from this? Yeah, it gets the Okizeme and the dead angle. Okay, yeah, see, saves the meter for the dead angle. We're gonna go back to neutral here. How do we get over? Goes for the Greed Sever. Please say it with me. Greed Sever is not a mix-up tool. Use your throws. Thank you. As I say it.
I should introduce you to some Korean Kai players who use it as a mix-up tool. Very efficiently at that.
Greed Sever is a great low crush tool, and at certain ranges, very hard to punish. But I'm going to say if you're going to be trying to go high-low with it, there are better ways I feel like you can open people up as Kai.
And you need to see these replays. But yeah, generally speaking, it is not a very good mix-up tool. So try not to rely on it too much.
Ooh, the burst goes unpunished, but not a great burst to start with. Of course, whenever you burst in this game, you lose your entire burst bar and don't gain it back until you hit the opponent. So, real important there to make sure you land with your burst. And crosses up with the Greet Sever. I think Elidus maybe try to wake up throw or something. Okay, important thing I think Shining Spear also needs to look on is their spacing for their stun dippers. They're getting a lot of stun dipper hit confirms, but they're too close when they land and end up the second hit ends up being blocked. So that's really unsafe. Good throw there.
Yeah, and if you aren't sure about the stun dipper distance, you can always end with 2D instead. It is less reward obviously, but it is much more stable. So if you aren't sure, just try to go for the knockdown. It is more important than the little bit more damage you get.
I mean, Stun Dipper doesn't even get the best knockdown. Ooh, loses out on the trade, unfortunate. But as I was saying, Stun Dipper doesn't lose out. Stun Dipper's knockdown is not as good as just going for a raw 2D. For instance, if you try to like Stun Dipper and charge Stun Edge, you can just wake up and jump out of it. Whereas like that's not really an option with 2D.
Yeah.
So,
of course, ideally you would want to just 2D grinder into the charge stunner setup, but not always possible. And that's a huge 2H that doesn't convert, unfortunately.
No conversion, but Kai's 2H, incredibly good anti-air, one of many, and oh no, runs into the fire. I like that burst though, kind of keeps Shining Spear in the corner immediately. Fortunately doesn't get to make much out of it, but I did like the burst, just to kind of immediately keep the momentum and the corner positioning.
Yeah, I'd like to see pressure be a little bit more varied, also from Kai. Kai, he has a really free-form way of putting you in the corner and keeping you there. And it does take a lot of time to try and become familiar with that, but certainly, oh, that's a huge blitz also, but
it's
again,
an air dash blitz, definitely the sign of somebody that is just kind of tired of dealing with whatever their opponent is doing and just wants to get their turn already.
Yeah, it certainly can be effective. Not a lot of people expect that kind of thing to come out of air dash.
There's the Greet Sever. Goes unpunished though, a little bit too far, yeah. Has to RC to make that safe.
And an overhead.
Yeah, overhead, but Black beats on the combo. Wasn't ready for the hit confirm. I will say one thing I noticed about Elidus when we were playing that I did want to make a point to was that they do have one of those beginner habits of they'll press jab while on block stun or while in block string. They'll barre out, but then they won't follow up on the jab. So it's definitely one of those things where if you're planning on pressing a button, you should really be planning on what that button's going to do and how to act off of it, because just jabbing someone out of their pressure and then stopping your only barre kind of just tells them to keep doing whatever they want and frame trap you better next time.
For sure, super important point, and you can see this across pretty much every single fighting game, not just Xrd. Just pressing buttons into not really confirming into anything when you're mashing.
Good air throw there. Couldn't get knocked down because of the air hit, so just went for the air throw on the resets. That's really good. Elidus does need to watch though. They're definitely trying to summon a little bit too much. They'll summon once and Shining Spear throws the stun edge and just gonna get caught by it. So they need to be watching even when Kai's at full screen there. Summon once and then see what Kai does. If he's not throwing stun edge, you can go ahead and probably get out another summon, but you gotta respect the projectile being thrown at you.
Yeah, you are playing versus another human being. You do have to respond to what the opponent is doing, and it can be hard sometimes, even if you're experienced with your character. There is a stun dipper that goes unpunished.
Fish gonna eat the Greet Sever. Elidus just trying to, I think, make space, get out of the corner, but you're already in the corner, so you can't really make space. Oh, doesn't bait the burst on the RC, just not quite the awareness there, unfortunate.
And another stun dipper that doesn't really get punished. It is really important in the matchup to know how to really punish your opponent for doing that.
Yeah, I'd say fighting characters like Soul versus Kai, and really any character, but especially in the beginner area, the beginners we see do the best are the beginners that are very consistent. Like if you watch them fight a Kai player and the Kai player does stun dipper, they'll punish stun dipper every time. Coming down to the last 10 seconds here, Elidus has the life disadvantage, so at this point Shining Spear can just kind of lock him down, but last few hits just enough to get the kill right as timer hits 0.
Yeah, so close on that hit.
Yeah, Shining Spear could have probably just locked Elidus down there, burned a little bit of meter, and won that round just from timeout, but
just Greet Sever, of course, another move that really has to be punished and checked. Otherwise, you are going to have Kai be very happy about his games.
So Elidus right now, they got away with robbery in that round, and they're running with it, keeping Shining Spear locked in the corner here. Disrespect with the 2P gets their way out. I like that, but they got the whole knockdown from the 2P.
Yeah, the pressure looked really good, but unfortunately found a way out.
Elidus, though, has 100 meter here. Can just go for the IAD in and get counter hit by 2H is what they're going to go for. Gotta pay attention to your options here. Now you have so much meter compared to your opponent. Just YRC. Literally just YRC.
Yeah, honestly, so much YRC, such a good screen position away from Kai. Honestly, there's not much of a reason to IAD in, but ends up working out anyways. So it will be Dizzy heading up the bracket.
Yeah, we're actually going to keep Elidus here.
Oh, okay.
Because they're going to be playing against Corb next, so...
Corb was a Viking player.
Yes, a Viking player. So, Corb fought Telos off screen. I don't think we've actually seen Telos play, but they're going to be down in losers bracket. But Dizzy versus Viking. Now, this is notably a bad matchup for Viking, as Viking players will like to tell you, because you really can't Azami when the fish is on top of you. But we've had a lot of Vikings here in NKO, so sharing a lot of the knowledge of, hey, just don't Azami when the fish is on top of you and you'll be fine. Just block like a normal character does. So let's see if Corb can do that. Elidus going immediately for the throw, though, ready for this. I think maybe a little bit more familiar with this matchup.
But of course, asking a player to play very differently from what their normal game plan is, really difficult for any player. We'll see how well the specific Viking does.
Ooh, the anti-air Kabari, yeah, had to burst that. That was a big damage starter.
Yeah, Viking actually another character who really benefits a lot from having that set play down.
Yeah, because having that Tatami kind of gives you a safe jump and something that's going to beat Wake Up Throw and just starts her pressure all in one.
Yeah,
goes for the Sakura, but the mash is going to be enough to kill. No, isn't able to confirm off the RC. Viking just gets hit in an odd way, so gonna get the knockdown, run up 2K. And the RKO, Elidus not awake, just holding down back. That's why you had to stay awake there.
But the tag button's winning out in the end.
Yep.
And that grappling out from Viking is one of the things that is a bit hard to deal with if you don't know how. There's a lot of different options Viking can go into after that, and studying each one of them is a bit of a task.
Counter hit by the Tatami, big launch, but isn't quite able to confirm into the full dust loop. But I think if there's one thing I've learned, it's that Viking's dust loop is kind of notoriously difficult for beginners to get down in full. So,
you know, that's surprisingly kind of hard to just go up and grab. You just instinctively want to mash when Viking puts that up, so you do have to kind of fight your instincts a lot.
Goopy mash, just sniffed out the throw, got her out. I see Corb getting hit in the air, means no real knockdown from Elidus there, but you gotta block still.
Yeah, such good bait. Not sure if it's intentional or not, but...
And super, yeah. And Elidus pressed a button, got counter hit. That's gonna be round there. Something important to pay attention to. If your opponent doesn't have meterless reversals and they have 50 meter, you know, safe jump them. You can see the screen too. It's usually, once you get to a certain point, I'll say it gets pretty obvious when your opponent wants to wake up DP and they only have a meter reversal.
And as you said, again, especially for a character who doesn't have a DP, it does become very tempting. Especially with a character with such low stun as Viking.
So right now, looking for a random hit. I like that, the JD into the knockdown, gets the counter hit. Looking good for Corb. Oh, but misses the instant air dash. Tatami input, has to PRC to keep himself safe.
That looked like a Yozansen attempt that turned into an ID.
And that's why you can't Azami on Dizzy, folks. Azamiing projectiles is pretty tough because Viking just can be thrown really easily. And the overhead 5D.
Yeah, just walked up in 5D.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't represented it at all through the match, and you know Viking is going to be looking to maybe tap low Azami at some point during your pressure.
Yeah, 5D is a really precious overhead option for a lot of characters that don't have a normal that can provide it for them. Specifically in the Viking matchup, that is.
It's like Corb didn't work out, but they did go for the anti-air Kabari there when they went for the Kabari, just knowing that Elidus has a tendency to up back and try to get out, knowing that Dizzy wants to run away. So just going for the anti-air Kabari to try to catch that. Unfortunately, didn't work out. Finds himself bursting in the corner.
Yeah, I think Dizzy might be able to just block that burst if she holds back after the close flash. I'm not too certain. And good confirm into. It's a really good position, but that's going to be a burst into.
I mean, again, one of those
scrambles all over the place.
Oh no! Please do the overhead. That was the low Azami. Yeah, unfortunate. You got to pay attention when Baiken's holding Azami like that. You either kind of have to wait for her to start to leave the animation and counter hit her, or just do the overhead if she's holding low, or do a low if she's holding that high.
Yeah, in the moment, honestly, it is a little bit difficult to tell whether it's high or low. So oftentimes you do just go end up.
Or just throw her and be safe either way, right? Like that one's always gonna win.
Yeah, if you have a command grab, that would be really easy. But in Dizzy's case, you probably do just still want to go for a normal grab.
Ooh, the counter hit Dust and gets the combo off of it. Holy crap, Corb. Didn't get the full Dust Loop and Ender, but still an amazing awareness to get that hit confirmed.
Tries to go for a Yomi with the high grappling hook.
Now Corb right now just kind of losing out on a lot of these trades. Not really getting anything started here. Just needs to... I think it's one of those things where you got to learn where sometimes you can't always be trying to press and always be trying to scramble. Sometimes you just got to stay calm, wait for your opponent to burn themselves out and back off and block when a fish is biting you in the face. So
and all three of those fish hits, unfortunately, hitting Baiken there. You do have to block those all the time.
Here, Kabari catches Dizzy's extended hurt box, I think, there. Ends up clenching out the round for Corb. Ella just panicked and gold bursted there, kind of meant they didn't have any options.
Tons of... There's a lot of scramble situations that lead into straight hits, and just learning how to convert off of them, or becoming more familiar with those situations, is going to be such a huge improvement to a lot of these players overall. Just getting the knockdown itself is such a huge point in Guilty Gear.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where like your options are either learn how to play through the scramble situations, or learn how to avoid the scramble situations outright. And that's kind of how I think we see a lot of players like fall into one of two.
Yeah, it'll definitely depend on the character too. And that's a really huge hit, but no confirm.
Yeah, unfortunate. I mean, really common for Baiken to use Rokon Soji and then immediately low Azami afterwards just to prevent any mashing.
Yep.
Ella just gets the burst back just in time. Going to give him one more chance to play here.
Yeah, Baiken does have the burst here, but doesn't need it.
The IADJP.
Yeah, that was something.
That was a... I think that was a... Oh no, I almost won this match. I don't want to lose now because I didn't bait a burst. So we're going to make that 1-1. Close match between these two players. Definitely a lot of back and forth here. I think it's definitely going to come down to whoever can get the first real good knockdown and convert off of it. And there, again, the Rokon into the low Azami. Best way to deal with that is block the Rokon and then just see what Baiken does. And if she's holding low Azami, take your free throw.
Lots of other options there too, but again, you do need to take some time to learn what all the options are. And until you do that, just waiting and seeing isn't too bad of an option.
And of course, it's one of those things too as well, where like the better as you get better at the game and you get better at instant blocking, especially instant blocking Rokon Soji is kind of the first thing you need to be able to do to be able to really contest it. Otherwise, you're just kind of gonna have to hold and let Baiken do whatever she wants. Good anti-air with the 2S. Doesn't get the full confirm. Maybe baiting a burst or something here.
Yeah, that is a burst save combo that Dizzy is attempting there.
Oh, smart on Corp to not burst there. Go into this next round with it. Yeah, round start 6H. Since you have the burst, you can go ahead and start the round with something a little bit ballsier. And you're gonna burn it there.
Yeah, oh, that is huge though. Another setup with fish, but it doesn't lead to anything.
It actually lets Baiken out with the 2P mash. Doesn't get knocked down though. Going for these Suzerons into the Rokon, trying to catch Dizzy pressing buttons. Unfortunately, the fish stopping him. And jumping back into the anti-air Kabari to catch Dizzy running at them. Oh.
A lot of counter hits. She might be a bit close to stun at this point.
I mean, Corb is definitely getting a lot more desperate, I think, with these Azamis. Trying to change up their timing a little bit. Hasn't been doing it a lot. Yeah, gonna get 2P. No punish out of it, though. Spends the dead angle to get out. That's why you gotta get your knockdowns, and that's why you can't Azami when there's a fish.
Ooh.
I mean, Ella is sitting here with a ton of meter compared to Corb, and I think that's gonna be it. No, drops the combo. That wasn't real.
I do wonder if that's a misinput or intentional.
Yeah, well, let's see. They're still in IK mode. They still have a little bit of meter here. They're going to end up finishing out the set. Now, as soon as that bar reaches end, now this is going to start draining her HP and gets the 2K. Just sees the Suzerain and reacts.
Meta team to close it out. That was a really close set in a few ways.
Yeah. Definitely a close between the two players. It's always good to see two players with a close set, kind of no matter what the skill level is, just as long as the two people are kind of matched up equally, right? So always good to see that.
And another thing I do have to comment on, air throw is such an important aspect of Guilty Gear as an anti-air, and just in general for catching a lot of approaches and attack situations that when you're not familiar with the option, it's kind of like you're playing a different game altogether. And you might start to feel like the game operates in a different way than the game actually does. So until you do learn how to do air throws efficiently, the game does work very differently. So do keep that in mind.
Yeah, without having an air throw as your reliable anti-air, you really have to kind of be predicting more and getting your air throw out or your anti-air out there earlier rather than just reacting an air throw into anti-air. So
that actually did avoid a burst somehow, and this matchup also is really difficult for inexperienced Zato players to deal with Axel. He has a lot of tools that can really annoy him in general. Killing Eddie really easily.
I can really see being an issue because Eddie doesn't necessarily protect you even at full screen like you might usually want him to do. And of course, Rensengeki is just going to clear out little Eddie and just keep on going and force you to block. And Zato with his slow run speed isn't able to really make use of that zoning.
Yeah, not only that, but he is one of the characters that can't run under 5p, so he has to find a different way to try and get in.
Yeah, of course, Puddin's aware, blocks the Rensen and immediately drills to force Impure to do something. Ooh, I like it. YRC went for the command throw, saw it was in the air, so YRC just went for the anti-air punish.
And Axel really a character that is full of tools that annoy new players. You can really tell Rensen 6H, that special move that goes behind the opponent in the air.
I really do like Puddins is definitely on it though. Every time they block Rensen at that range, they just immediately drill just to force Imp to deal with them. Oh, and Eddie eats the DP. Doesn't get a good punish off of it, but hey, that drill extends good enough.
Yeah, if you are going to sacrifice Eddie, really important to get the confirm off of.
Yeah, definitely you want to get the knockdown to give Eddie as much time as possible to come back. Oh, doesn't bait the burst. Unfortunate. Gonna come down the next touch.
Great White?
Shark Strike.
No, not on the meter.
And ooh, Axel's 2S there, huge, but the wake up air throw.
Yeah, probably the correct choice there. Nothing else really can deal with it as well.
Wake up air throw, an amazingly strong tool, I think. So really good to see that. Just to like just no, your Oki's not real. You're up in the air, both me, and like it is like that universal anti-air option as a wake up tool, unless I guess you're Potemkin with your 5-frame wake up timing or jump startup.
Yeah, for Axel, you're really watching for Zato's IAD attempts at that range specifically, where he's trying to do far throw. As long as you can deal with that, you are content just kind of staying where you are. But it's going to be a command throw, but Eddie does die, so this isn't going to lead to too much pressure.
He's going to block the drill there and immediately take their turn. Good air throw on the air dash, yep.
Yeah, another amazing air throw.
And baits the burst there, so that's really important because now Imp's going to have to build their entire burst back.
And another really good throws just in general coming from Puddings.
Yeah, Puddings has always been working on those air throws, I think. I mean, Zato, a character with kind of, we'll say, unreliable anti-airs. 6P and 2H, definitely big commitment. So having that anti-air air throw, very important for Zato.
Unreliable at best, yes.
Yes, yeah, I'm being very, I will admit, I am being very, very generous when I say unreliable.
Yeah, this specifically is the range Axel wants to be. Just
kind of
2Ps.
Poking just right outside of Zato's effective buttons range. Gets the one knockdown though with the drill. I'm going to get Eddie out in the field. And one thing, Puddins maybe keeps Eddie out a little bit too long on the field. Just kind of ends up putting him in a spot where like he can do one-way attack or bring Eddie back and just goes for the one more attack pretty consistently. But unfortunately, whenever you do that, you're kind of guaranteeing that you're going to put him away.
Yeah, the counter at Nobiru is such a huge opportunity. Zato's biggest damage starter out of everything he has. Unfortunately, no conversion, but and also the idea of controlling Eddie in neutral is the single most difficult thing about the character. So, granted, like it is, it's probably unfair to say like you should just do better with that.
It's definitely one of those things that's like something to keep in mind, but I'm not going to expect to see it next time we play necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, credit to Puddin's. He's been entering NKO since I think the very first one, and consistently, like, he's been getting stronger and stronger while playing, honestly, one of the hardest characters in the cast. So his Eddie control has become amazing in, like, sense of just drill timing and getting down the fuzzies and set play, so...
Yeah, that Sasuke does catch the jump. It is honestly, it's kind of frustrating from both character perspectives in this matchup. Axel doesn't have the easiest time dealing with Eddie's pressure, even though he does have a DP. It's not all that great of one.
It's a slow DP and only one hit, so it'll likely hit Eddie out of whatever he's doing, and then Zato just gets to punish you, right? So
this knockdown is huge though.
Doesn't beat the burst though, and manages to hit Eddie before, or hit Zato, sorry, before the Eddie Nobiru hits him. So.
And Zato does have to be careful with the wrist bar as well. He is one of the lowest health characters in the game.
And no guts on Zato either, so even though he's at low life, he's still going to be taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, really huge apart.
Oh, okay, that super has no invul. Today I learned.
Yep. We do not want to use that versus active blocks.
I mean, it's a strong super that gets a lot of plus frames. Oh, kills little Eddie with the 2K and immediately cancels into 2D. And the 5H spacing just catches him trying to get close to him.
Yeah, I wonder if he was trying to do a grab. Thinking that he was a bit closer to Axel.
Yeah, I mean, 5H, pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good button to have on your throw input, we'll say, because, like, you saw there, like, it staggers. It leads to a lot of Zato's tools, so, hey.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing you can have on a throw button.
Yep.
And next is going to be Viken versus Heian.
Yep, so we're going to have Corb and Quint. This is down in losers bracket now. This is losers quarters finals.
Wait, take a look at the bracket right now.
Yeah, we are currently at the point where all matches we're going to get through losers quarterfinals and then do losers semifinals, and then we'll hop on over, see how the intermediate bracket is doing right now.
Oh, I see. We're on top 8, basically.
Yeah, so
and
intermediate bracket is still going for a bit, so we might actually watch some intermediate bracket matches here.
Ooh, okay. Viken, of course, one of the later characters that was added to the game, so she has one of the fancier openings.
Yeah, when the animators were getting to be a little bit more fun, I think we'll say, and had a lot more time.
Yeah, you can really tell starting from even just Raven, but also Dizzy, Heian.
I think like even like
really fancy stuff.
Yeah, like I think like Dizzy has like just her standing up animation is like a super long and detailed animation for like something you will never see in a match. Oh, punishes that. Yeah, that move has about 7 frames of landing recovery, so that move is actually surprisingly tight to punish, but Quint gets the 2H, gets his best possible starter.
Yeah, but again, Heian is in a bit of an awkward spot when she's not mid-screen for a lot of these combos. It is... Oh, that's going to hurt a lot.
And just keeps holding Azami, but too far away there to get the punish with Rokon. Quint just tossing Corp around like a ragdoll. That is definitely one way to deal with Vikings that want to Azami.
Yeah, it had an opportunity to RC to just kill, but of course, these things aren't always easy when you're in a tournament. And... okay. That is huge.
Oh no! Yeah, just goes right through it. And doesn't punish the burst, unfortunately. When you want to burst the Shinken loops, you kind of got to burst on the opposite end of the screen. I think Corp was trying to do that, just bursted a little bit too late.
Yeah. But honestly, I think if she did go with the entire combo, that could have just stunned Viken and ended the round, honestly.
Yeah. And there's Grandpa Viper just gonna close out. I mean, Quint has such a life lead and meter advantage that they're allowed to kind of go for these more big Hail Mary win more options because there's not as much risk associated with them. Even at this spot, they've got such an advantage over Corb that And RCs that just to make themselves safe. Probably tried to throw there and got the 6H.
Yeah, 6H YRC after hitting the Azami.
That's 6H, you gotta be able to do that. That's one of those moves where it's like Kai Stun to Burr, where it's like you gotta be able to punish this.
Yeah, I just saw a wake up Shinken there. It does have a lot of high or above knee symbol, I think.
Yeah, it's above the knee. It's not a true reversal, as like you saw, it just kind of got smacked by the tatami. Any low hitting move would hit Heihun out of it, but anything like say like a jab or a far slash will probably whiff and actually be punished.
Yep. And just playing really passively to start, but now we are in more skirmishes.
Counter hit 6P, but doesn't get the confirm off of it. Wasn't quite ready for the hit. Ooh, anti-air Kabari, yeah, immediately burst. I like that. I like that people have pretty reliably bursted on one of the safer burst points of Baiken's combo, which would be that Tetsu Zansen there, that uppercut she does.
Yep.
Pretty safe burst point there. She can't really do much to bait it.
Yeah, learning burst points also kind of something that feels like homework in Guilty Gear.
I've kind of made a unspoken rule in NKO if I'm playing against one of the beginners. If you burst against Jams 2H, you owe me 10 push-ups because sometimes you got to know what points to never burst against because it just doesn't end well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice Kabari. And a lot of these air Kabaris really paying off in this entire tournament so far.
Yeah, Corp definitely one of our Baiken players that is more willing to go for the anti-air Kabari, and I like it because honestly punishing that anti-air Kabari, even if you don't jump, is hard because it recovers very fast. The startup looks exactly the same as normal Kabari, so you don't really know it's an anti-air Kabari until it happens.
Mm-hmm.
By the time
and punishing Baiken just in general, kind of a task, really more difficult than a lot of other characters.
Like,
when you're considering
I will punish her, and she Azamis you, and you lose 60% of your life bar. So.
Yeah. And even her super, the Tenchijin, you do have to learn how to IB if you want to punish it, so...
Which Quint was not even blocking, not even given the opportunity, gonna get a knockdown from him, but that's the thing about this super,
a lot of meter there.
Not much. I mean, Quint has 100 meters, so
yeah,
just gonna throw themselves in and go for the scramble.
2P.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's one of those scenarios, you have 100 meter, you should probably just be spamming some YRCs, I'd say, and so next up, we're going to have Imp and Telos.
Okay, this is going to be Axel and Sin. Okay.
Axel versus Sin.
Wonder how this goes. It's not a matchup I see very often.
Yeah,
Axel in general, for that matter.
Yeah, Axel, a relatively rare character, I would say. And I think against a lot of these characters like Sin, like Kai, I think generally I hear that Axel kind of struggles against just because he can't really play that mid-range game quite as well as he would normally like to. But I think for the other side, they're not used to somebody being able to outpoke them, as it were. So.
And Sparrowhawk, when you do get the hit on the low as your first hit, you can knock down with it without having the opponent air attack. And if you're going to use that move, I do recommend learning how to do that. It's not too hard.
And Beak Driver just says, I don't care about Sparrowhawk, but you gotta watch your spacing. I think that's the first thing people learn in Guilty Gear is how do I learn how to do a meaty attack without getting thrown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because throws are 0 frames in this game. You can just wake up and throw somebody through their meaty attack, and gotta learn how to space out those meaties or do something that's gonna punish them for doing that wake up throw mash.
Yeah, and of course, low health situation is so dangerous versus Axel, who has so many tools to just kind of chip you a little bit.
Throws Imp into the corner. There's one way to punish the wake up throw mash by doing a late IAD.
We're gonna get this knockdown. And of course, we are seeing a lot of 2H, 6H from the Axel.
Yeah, I think I caught there the 6H into 2K. Maybe a little bit of fluster where you block the overhead, you get hit by the overhead, so you think, oh, I gotta block high, and then get smacked by the low. Generally, like, just one of those things it's hard to break the habit of. Alright, Imp fighting their way out of the corner. Goes for something a little cute and gets punished for it.
Yeah, this, of course, Sin with a ton of meter, but it gets counter hit, and that's some huge damage.
Burst, and Imp getting a little bit too spicy there, gets counter hit by the Beak Driver, jumps out, but the Bull Bash ends up catching Imp. I like the jump out in FD though. Like, I thought for sure it would be a throw.
Yeah, instinctively I think they went for the eat instead of extending the combo, which could have killed again. Sin a character that really does have to adjust combos based on the situation, given the meter.
You gotta be looking for that that calorie gauge, and never want to overextend and make yourself one hungry boy, because that's kind of just instantly death.
Yeah.
I like this. Imp has started to catch on. The Telos kind of does have, I want to say, like beginner Sin problem of just wants to slide on in, because like it gets Sin in, it gets him. It's hard to deal with on pressure. It's relatively safe, but of course Imp just throwing out the 2H, throwing out the Rensen Geki, and stopping that approach.
Yeah, that could have comboed if we just pressed the 5P a bit earlier too, but
Yeah.
it's not going to matter.
Back J2S gonna clean up the round with the instant overhead from halfway across the screen, right?
Mhm. And yeah, slide. Of course, one of those tools that's just I want to skip neutral, so I'm going to press it.
Yeah, it's the skip neutral button. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it is.
It does become a crutch really easily though for a players, so you have to watch out.
Yeah, Telos, after this, me and you can play some matches, and I think 3 counter hit jam 6Hs, and we'll beat that habit out of you real quick. So the wake up Bentengari just gets punished.
Yeah, it does deal with the DP somehow, but now we'd have to see how to extend the pressure from Sin.
Imp's been caught in the corner this entire round. Finally bursts out when it's kind of late in the match here. Gonna have to make one heck of a run back in order to really make it worth it.
Oh, and the slide going under the 5P. That is going to be...
punishes the full bash.
Yeah,
Alright,
just
yeah,
back
go
to
on to hold
neutral
that.
again.
Made it unblockable, but whiffed it. Unfortunate. Good awareness of Telos. Need to do something. Need to get in there. Can't just sit there and hold down back.
Yeah.
Good to know that, hey, this is unblockable if I let Axel charge it too much, so I need to get in.
Yeah, and typically with Axel, you can't really react to your opponent approaching you when you're using Sparrowhawk. You just kind of have to use one of your 3 options is preemptively, and then hope it works. So
yeah, and if you have meter, of course, you can always YRC it and then just react to whatever they're doing. So
yeah, another huge counter hit though, and gonna just go for eating again.
I mean, yeah, having all this meter. I mean, at this point, they're going for the YRCs here, but definitely one of those things. If your opponent doesn't have a burst and you have all this meter,
Ooh, that was an IK for some reason.
that was an oh no! I'm mashing all the buttons on my stick at once to get the IK. All right, I'm gonna have to fight this way back out of this. No character has a burst, but Telos has all the meter in the world. What are they gonna do with it? Gonna mash a close slash and get the trade.
Yeah, that Axel 6H is such a huge menace for a lot of these beginner players, but managing to trade, and that does end the game.
I mean, best trade in the world is the trade that ends the round, right? So.
Yep. Of course, you do want to try and interrupt it before it happens, or blitz, or do something about it before it lands. It is plus on block, so do be careful.
Ooh, going for the double eat against... that's actually not bad, because Axel at full screen honestly doesn't really have too many options. He has to close the space, because Rensen doesn't clear the full screen, neither do all of his other buttons. So going for the double eat and just forcing Axel to move a little bit, getting the resources for later.
And this is honestly not a bad situation for both players now.
Oh, that's
we do see that burst getting wasted. Need to play with burst now.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, Sin is a hard character to burst against, absolutely. But the instant burst against Beak Driver usually ends up poorly. Oh no, OTG's unfortunate. Gets punished for eating because of that OTG hit.
Yeah, just as a really handy tip versus Sin. If you do want to burst it after you get hit by the DP.
Yeah,
there's literally nothing you can do.
Bursting the Elk Hunt, generally the best thing. Gets bopped on the head by Bull Bash there. Telos gonna put Imp on the back foot.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Axel can do now.
Oh, the round start Beak Driver into immediately into the Elk Hunt. I think Telos has started to catch on to Imp's style, and as I say, that counter hit, good conversion, doesn't end with the, unfortunately doesn't get the bomber ender.
Yeah, Axel doesn't really miss out as much as other characters could, because those combos don't lead to knockdowns anyways. But definitely nice to get the damage in any case.
I mean, Axel's whole, like, instead of going for a knockdown, he just kind of goes for air tech resets, right? So, missing out on the knockdown, not the worst thing in the world, but always a thing where it's like, if you want to do a combo and you drop the combo, now you're scrambling to figure out what the hell you're supposed to do next, though.
Yeah, that's a weird blitz that came out.
Medium blitz there, I think maybe panicking maybe a little bit, maybe trying to read a burst that Telos may or may not throw out. Oh, goes for the unblockable a little bit too early. And Telos stops 15 in the air. Unfortunate, gonna give Imp one last chance here.
Yeah, and a lot of 2H, 6H Gatlings right now. They aren't really being dealt with right now, so I think it's okay. But in the future,
at this point, we're at like a match point for both characters, and
yeah, you just want to do what you can to finish out the round.
It's fair to say both players are definitely running on panic and just hoping that their autopilot is going to beat out the opponent, right?
Yeah,
Renson's
another huge counter hit.
Yeah,
And that might just kill.
This.
No.
Oh, wow. That didn't quite work. Imp looking great here, though. Just gonna see what they do, and chips them out with the Renson, ending on a perfect.
Yeah, such a difficult situation. 1 HP versus a full HP Axel.
I mean, yeah. You gotta remember to FD there when you're at that low life scenario. So Quint gonna come on up against Imp here for losers semifinals. Before we
have our top 4 now. Put-ins, Elitis, Imp, and Quint.
Yep. We're gonna see who gets into top 3, and then we'll probably hop on over to the intermediate bracket, see how that one's going.
Mm-hmm. I will also be right back.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start this off. Axel versus Hehyun. Hehyun generally one of those characters I think that just kind of struggles to deal with characters that can keep them out very effectively, and Axel a character that keep people out. Now, I have noticed that in general, Quint does kind of have a bad habit of IADing a lot, and Hehyun with a big hurt box in the air, I think that's going to be a problem if Imp can sniff out that habit and punish him for it. So,
yeah,
gotta block the Sparrowhawk.
Yeah, jumping generally not a situation you want to be in versus Axel. You gotta stay grounded as much as you can. Yeah,
dash FD break is the name of the game against Axel. If you can dash FD break, you slowly work your way in, get the Shinken loop, burst out of it.
Yeah, not too bad. Got a lot of damage before the burst. But this is really dangerous now, so Hehyun. But
with X buttons, though. And just gonna get pecked away with 2 Ps and Renson Gekis, and every time Quint tried to move forward, just got smacked in the face. That's really why you gotta have down your dash FD break against Axel. Get closer, make up that space, and eventually you'll be close enough to Axel where he's got to make a choice and do something awkward.
Yeah,
probably
not the first round start DP we've seen from the Axel either.
Yeah, I'm definitely an Axel player. Plays a little bit laissez-faire with the DP.
Oh. You know how to play Axel properly. That's
yeah,
what it is.
I mean, IAD and see what happens, right?
You got IAD in, but now we are seeing. Okay.
The Rye gets caught by it. Just bursts out of the block string. Yeah, I'm generally a proponent for block string bursts. Generally, it's harder to bait them than a combo burst because you don't expect somebody to burst during block string.
Yeah, and also, finally blocking that 6H from Axel, and it is really paying off.
Catches the jump out, but doesn't catch the tech buttons.
Yeah, really awkward.
Hayabusa, yeah, that's really good awareness because that it was an air hit. Hayabusa wouldn't have gotten Quint any knockdown, so went for the RC to actually get the full knockdown and paid off for him in the end.
Yeah, Grandpa Viper also does go under 5P, so it is an option you can go for if you really want to.
Good to know.
But yeah, I would like to see a few other options other than 6H after doing a 2H block string. I mean, at some point, your opponent is going to learn how to deal with it. Maybe not in the tournament setting, but just for the long term.
Yeah, I mean, they gave Axel and Rev 2 the 2H special cancel ability, so it kind of turns into, go ahead and 2H and then just Renson just to be safe. Starting off this danger time with the counter hit 6H, but fights their way out.
Yeah, not a good spot for Hehyun. Into Sparrowhawk? No.
Gets caught by this is overhead. Okay, blocks it. But that's plus because it was charged.
Oh, so dangerous. That could have been a kill for Hehyun if the combo connected. But not going to matter. Axel taking it.
Yeah, Imp gets out of it, manages to poke their way out with this 2H. I mean, Hehyun character kind of, no real big buttons, kind of takes them a while to get in. And unfortunately, if you're not doing dash FD break, you're probably going to get caught by these buttons and lose a lot of life bar. So Quinn taking some time here before they hit that rematch, and gonna think before they get on in. So
yeah, and universally IAD YRC also a pretty important tool against Axel for a lot of characters. Just to be able to get it around that 5P, but this is a really strong start into bursts. Yeah, you just The only thing is, like, you got to be a little bit careful when recommending things like IDYRC, because it's also another thing that becomes a crutch really easily for a lot of players.
You're telling the jam player here. I think I spent the first year and a half playing Rev 2 and just burning my meter immediately on an IAD-YRC because I just went in wondering why I never had meter. So
I mean, it works, right?
well, yeah, and then you don't have meter, and then you lose when your opponent has 30% life.
Yeah, when you start to play against people who can manage meter a little bit more efficiently, you do have to start looking into other options that are maybe not as easy as just pressing that YRC. Oh, huge opportunity, not getting the counter on the 6H. Now more Axel 6Hs in response. That is going to go through bursts.
It's really hard to burst those Shinken because that upper body invul and burst raise you up in the air. There's the counter hit, but oh, doesn't get the 2D, and I think pressed 5D, and unfortunately going to give Imp one last chance here just to try to run this round back and spare Hawk through the projectile.
Yeah, Axel wants nothing to do with Heian at close range right now, but does lead with
the
that.
tech and throw, yeah, I like it. Tech and mash forward heavy. I approve of this.
And this is 1-1, right?
Yep, this is going to be 1-1. This is only
Okay.
best 2 out of 3. We are still in losers semifinals, so.
Taking a little bit of time. Not bad. Oh, and just
Right up throw, yeah, just like,
most
I mean-
option possible.
unfortunately wasn't expecting the counter hit 2D, so the little fireball there smacked Axel in the air and gave Axel a chance to get away. Now, Imp playing with about half their life bar already missing here, though, so.
Yeah, another 6H that does get blocked. I think a lot of these 6Hs are going to get started to block a little bit more often.
do
Trying to mix it up with the YC.
You do something so much, eventually it's going to start getting caught. And Imp really focusing on the low options there with 2H there, and Quint kiting and getting away with a couple air dashes. 6H
It's flying the other way with the 6H.
and the 5D into the corner, big damage. Yeah, gets the 5D combo. Doesn't get knocked down from it though. Axel's hurtbox maybe.
There's a really finicky situation there. Into more OP.
Blocks the 5D that time. Has to RC the 6H. Make
Yeah,
it
those
safe.
those kind of 5Ds often surprisingly working out in tournament situations because people don't really expect them to occur in such high pressure.
Yeah, like you're already mentally loaded based just on like everything going on in the tournament. I would need to win this, and you're not thinking off the top of your head. Oh, hey, let's block an overhead because nobody does 5D. That's stupid.
Yeah.
So
More zoning. It's probably where Axel wants to be.
I mean, right now, great spot for Axel. Quint manages to get their way in, but some dash FD breaking, and unfortunately doesn't dash FD break the DP. Gonna start all the way over back at this full screen again.
Yeah, honestly, really good timing on the DP too, knowing exactly when Heian's gonna run in.
Jumps in and gets the hit finally, but RC's immediately burns their meter and kind of, unfortunately, because Imp had the burst, you burn the meter and then Imp just bursted and it didn't care because like cool, I'll just win anyway. But it does mean Imp's gonna go into this last round here without a burst, so.
Yep, such a huge, important resource in Guilty Gear, of course.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you do have to accept that, like, I'm not gonna win this round. So right now, all I want is just to take their burst away from them. And you know what? If you can do that, cool. Then you just know, all right, now I can just do whatever I want the next round. Gets the counter at JH, gets the knockdown, the overhead. Oh, but doesn't get the Shinken loop. Wasn't ready or flubbed the input. Unfortunately, that's so much damage left.
Yeah, that does end up going back into a neutral situation, but this is going to be the corner for Axel.
Yeah, Quint just looking for the hit here.
And you do have to wonder what things like that high blitz were intended to block.
And just Imp gonna control them and keep them locked down just long enough to close it out. But a very close set and a very good showing from Quint.
Yeah, honestly, Axel probably the most annoying character to deal with when you're a new player.
Yeah, I mean, you just learn how to FD break real quick, otherwise you don't get very far.
And just also like stuff like 6H that is difficult to deal with conventionally with like an anti-air. And if you do screw up, you're going to get countered into huge damage too. Just a lot of things that you have to complete homework for.
Like, you gotta learn how to like jump and instant block in the air, and then how to punish it because it's relatively hard to punish it. So we're going on to intermediate bracket now. Beginner bracket actually was smaller than intermediate bracket this week, so this is loser semifinals. So this is only 2 out of 3, but this is the intermediate bracket between R Squared, who graduated, I believe, last year, showing really strong progress and showing up pretty well in the intermediate bracket, getting all the way to semifinals here in loser side. And Turlith also in the loser side, surprisingly, generally shows really strong in intermediate bracket. Chip is not his main, I should say. His main is Lycan.
Yep. Lycan and Chip, very different playstyles, and you do have to wonder. Oh, okay. Just gonna.
Yeah, the tech and immediate Alpha Blade. I mean, very hard to deal with, very frustrating to deal with. I'll say as well, because like you just know like Chip's full screen and you still got to block on. All right, goes for the wake up throw mash, pays off. Eno's getting some mix up time here now. Yeah, and Perla just trying to get away here and gets caught, has to burst that counter hit JD.
Yeah, and of course, both of these characters probably ones with the most oppressive pressure in the game, other than, let's say, Millie and Reed.
Yeah.
Once you do get knocked down, you really have to pay attention to what you're going to do on defense.
Really good awareness from R Squared there. Tech was falling down, and Turtle was actually looking for the throw as soon as R Squared landed. R Squared saw the YRC and jumped. So, really good awareness. R Squared going to win that first round.
Mm-hmm. And super important with Eno also. It's really important to fall into these traps where you end your block strings with very specific specials like Chemical Love that do have ways to be dealt with. So you do have to vary your enders quite a bit.
Yeah, Chip of course has a very strong 6P that's going to plow right through Chemical Love. So you kind of gotta you gotta accept sometimes doing stroke and letting your opponent jump out if they block it or see it, because that stroke is really just your chance to hop out of whatever pressure Eno's going to do next.
Yeah, and also this was mentioned earlier too, but air throw is such an important part of dealing with either of these characters really, so we'll see how
Visible leaf throw, gonna be enough to kill, no, not quite enough.
Oh, just one
pixel, but the teleport throw, yeah, I mean, you're at a pixel of life against Chip and you jumped, well, GG, next round.
Yeah, honestly, really solid pressure from both players here so far.
I mean, of course, being in the intermediate bracket, both these players have graduated from the beginner bracket. Really proven themselves to have an understanding of their character, and maybe at this point just need some more matchup advice and really just need to tighten up get rid of some bad habits they might have accrued. Ooh, doesn't get hurt off of it, but what a clash situation.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be really nice damage, but misses the Beta Blade.
Yeah, misses the Beta Blade, and the 5D from Eno, no one's ever ready to block it. Let me pick from 20 different overheads I have, and we're going to pick the slowest one.
Ooh. Is just more skirmishes all around.
Yeah, both players just, I think, looking for that random hit. I think R Squared really looking for just like an air throw with throwing out all these JHs, just trying to OS an air throw and just get something started. Unfortunately gets caught and gonna let Chip start his pressure.
Turn was actually really close to killing with the anti-guts combo, but Eno does have to burst there.
Alright, R Squared, time to start breaking that bad habit of diving whenever you're panicking. It's gonna get you killed. Eno dive is a ton of recovery on block, so...
Being a reversal Alpha Blade really is something.
Yeah, and the 5K mash, I like that. Just mashing 5K, great stop sign from Chip, relatively low risk, and... Again...
Yeah, K Teleport YRC, such a good tool for ending when your opponent just has 1 HP left. There's honestly not much you can do there.
Yeah, I mean... Backdash is, I think, your best option, and even then, Chip can still call that out, even with just mashing 5K and still call it.
We'll see. You do really have to know how to deal with the Alpha Blade, or else it's going to be so much in neutral.
Yeah, I mean, if you can deal with Alpha Blade, it takes away the option away from Chip, because Alpha Blade is hugely punishing, or punishable, I should be able to say. But if you don't know how to punish it, or don't know how to deal with it, then Chip can just like kind of fly wherever he wants across the screen. And yeah, that's not how you deal with it. Unfortunately, that Alpha Plus really strong hitbox to anti-air with. That trade, though, works out.
And we just see more Alpha Blades in neutral.
Yeah, Tech Alpha Blade. So annoying. Oh, the stroke is under the second hit of Rekka, I think?
Yeah, somehow going on... somehow avoiding the Rekka entirely.
Yeah, stroke really annoying. Yeah, there's that Alpha Blade. Just catches the note. Just the perfect spacing to be safe. Throw it out.
Yeah,
Leaf throw. And the Okizeme holds onto the burst. I like it. Yeah, just go into your next round with a burst.
Yeah,
Made
and
a
also
choice.
you have to you have to know that you're not really reacting to any of these mix-ups that Chip or Ino are doing for that matter. You're just choosing an option beforehand and then hoping it works out.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these options, like Chip is representing, especially off the wall, is just kind of like you pick your defensive option that's going to cover the best options you think that they're going to do, or is just going to be the hardest to punish, and just hope it works out, right? Because the real answer is don't be in the situation to start with.
Yeah, and that's really the name of the game for Guilty Gear as a whole, really. You're not really reacting to too much in this game. Of course, there are stuff like, again, from before, Axel 6H that you do have to react to, but a lot of the mix-up options from Knockdown, you do have to just guess entirely.
Yeah. There's the JS. I like the block on the late, but very poor situation where R-squared to be in gonna get caught. Yeah, unfortunately, the 2 jabs into the air throw, a strong tool in Guilty Gear if you've got it, to just force them to tech in the air and take him away. So Turleth gonna advance on to losers finals here. R-squared, good showing for your first time in intermediate bracket, getting 4th place. So we're gonna go ahead and get Cade and Mondo Kazu to stream for 3 out of 5. So I looked at the bracket. Cade was actually the one that knocked Turleth into losers. I think this is the first time Turleth has been in losers bracket since entering intermediate bracket. So Cade, of course, one of our stronger Leo players, and Mondo Cosmo, one of our stronger Slayer players. So interesting matchup between 2 characters that I hate.
So, when does an intermediate player become an advanced player?
It's also a good question, and something that I've brought up before. That like Turleth, there's only so much longer before I could say, you know what, you don't get to enter intermediate anymore, and we need someone out there, please host a advanced or open to everyone tournament for Xrd in the Midwest.
I'm willing to stream it. I'm willing to stream it. Just make sure it's not on the same days as this.
Yeah,
just starting
put it on Thursday.
They're starting to beat my my soul as Chip.
Yeah, Turtle definitely one of our strongest players here in NKO, and at this point, like, buddy, come on. But of course, Cade and Mondo, both strong players too. I think we regularly see them in placing just under Turleth in a bracket. So,
yeah, Leo, of course, a character with a ton of gimmicks that you have to learn how to deal with.
I have never seen Cade play at this speed. I am going to say right now, this is a.
Yeah,
that round was
5D.
almost over there. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to finish. Is Mondo going to be able to run this back now?
Yeah, of course. Being cautious of the flash kick that Leo has,
yeah, I
that
mean,
is huge. And it should be the end of the. No, not quite.
No, doesn't get quite the conversion. And there's the flash kick, going to tie him out. All that work earlier, paying off and just needing one flash kick.
Mm-hmm.
So I have never seen Cade play at this speed when he's on the offense. This is really good to see him just using all this overwhelming pressure. And then once he got knocked down there too, he was willing just to kind of hold down back and just kind of like, okay, I just need one hit. I can slow down. I can relax. Like, really good to see that too, is like not always having one speed.
Yeah, rare sight from a Leo player.
The knockdown cross through.
And another overhead. That is going to be the round.
Yep, full combo extension, going to get the knockdown. This is 3 out of 5 since we are in winners finals, but Cade making it look just overwhelming MC with such pressure and offense.
Yeah, those were pretty fast rounds too. Just honestly, I didn't get to see much from the Slayer at all.
Yeah, I think he got to do a little bit, maybe try to go for a wake up BDC, and Cade was already ready for it, crossing him over to cross up his backdash input. All right, we're gonna get something started here. Yeah, early burst against Slayer. I respect it, because holy crap, Slayer can kill you. All right, knockdown time. Mizame is low. Catches the jump out with a 6B, and no,
It should knock down into. Yep, good.
Again, you're dead. So, what we've learned here is It's Late is a very powerful counter hit starter and also throw invincible, so I'm not sure if Cade is going for a throw there, but throwing Slayer after blocking It's Late is always extremely risky.
Oh, that is punishable.
Yeah, gets a full punish into the knockdown.
Yeah, but of course, both of these characters do have throw and roll options on Oki, so you have to imagine they both are aware of each other's options.
I also like that we haven't seen MC at all represent unfortunate burst. But we haven't seen it all represent the Helter Skelter because it doesn't work against Leo. He has a flash kick, so any cross up is just going to still get flash kicked. Yeah, immediately burst once his
really nice timing on that too.
Both players down a burst entering this last round here of this match here. And I like the 6P trying to call Cade out for doing first slash or 5H at round start. And the B losing for it, but I see the thought process.
Yeah, and definitely as we move on to the intermediate bracket, we do see people calling out very specific options from each other. For example, we just saw the first burst bait, I think, intentionally, just a round ago.
And the unblockable after crossing through, Mondo Cosmo just ready to block the high-low, wasn't ready for the unblockable. Oh, but the PC ends up getting him out of that situation. It's an interesting interaction. Ready to block the flash kick, but has the meter to make it safe.
Yeah, the RC saving Leo's life, but... Oh, and he takes the round.
I think he might have tried to BDC, but actually got forward dash there due to the cross through. So that's going to be 2-0 for Cade here. Going to have to win one more match to advance on to grand finals. MC taking some time just to catch his breath and get into the next match. Definitely looked better that match, I'd say, than the first one.
Yeah, and I do have to wonder. I think both players, well, Slayer in particular, could look at Blitz as an option to use a little bit more often on defense. Leo is kind of susceptible to high Blitz versus a lot of the options he wants to go for, like the stance H.
Yeah, I'd say in general, like, if Slayer over-relies on BDC, essentially gets a character that can actually punish him for doing it, such as Leo, it becomes more of a liability than anything. There's the punish on the back turn dust. Very good. Very good. Something I've noticed to be able to punish back turn dust consistently. Because there's definitely, especially in the beginner bracket when we had Leos there, they would just get away with back turn dust, back turn dust, back turn dust, and then it would counter because people just not sure, hesitating when to actually do it. Good mash out of the stagger there. Makes them able to block the Mappa.
Yeah, this is another huge opportunity.
Burst on the RC, yep, safe burst to worst.
Yeah, of course, Slayer with meter, so much stronger than when he doesn't. These conversions that he can get off of the RC are just so game-changing.
I mean, bursting as soon as, not necessarily as soon as Slayer RCs, but as soon as it's RCs and it's safe to burst, really important because you can deny him so much damage.
Yeah,
the YRC into
so dangerous.
Yeah, back to nuts.
Yeah, amazing normal, honestly. Just throw it out there.
I don't actually know how Slayer really deals with it that well, because, like, other than 6P, maybe?
Can 6P beat it?
Maybe? I don't know.
Off guard.
Is he able to... Mashes out a stagger in time, but Kate doesn't really go for any punish afterwards. Catches the jump out. Yeah, that's really bad.
Gets the meter just in time as well.
And a little bit of guard bar goes a long way. Gets the knockdown in like 70% of Leo's life. Doesn't mash out a stagger that time. Gives him the combo. Oh no! Does it a little bit too early. And whiffs the bite. And this is where Leo's scary. He's in Hellfire state, so that's going to do a lot of damage with the back turn super.
So the 5D working out. And baiting for the burst. This should be the end of the...
Well, he's going to have one more chance. We're going to see a dead angle. Yeah, we are. Doesn't bait the dead angle. Ends up winning off the back of another reversal, but I guess there's one critique, Cade, you're looking amazing, but if there's one critique, that dead angle, it was one of the biggest signs in the world, hey, I'm going to dead angle here, because honestly, what else are you going to do?
I mean, tournament pressure, right? So hard
yeah.
Trying to take everything into consideration.
But we're going to have Slayer versus Chip and Turlith versus Monocosmo, while Cade waits in grand finals here. So this is best 3 out of 5. Now, Slayer versus Chip has become quite a meme, I'll say. I think we've all seen the example of Danger Time, the fighting game glossary, and Chip with some of the lowest life in the game, and Slayer with just raw damage output.
This this matchup honestly is quite something.
I haven't seen counter hit 5P lead into 80% of Chip's life bar. So
boy.
it's definitely one of those matchups where just Chip just kind of has to play perfectly, and if Slayer has his conversions on deck, even that might not be enough.
Yeah, trying to deal with the forward dash with the repeated 5Ks, but it doesn't work out anyways.
And just forward dash through Gamma Blade. What? I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, learning something new every day.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to
Just
start
mashing
pressure.
close slash
Yeah,
out
just
of VIP.
close slash. And he's doing amazing versus already this first round going really strong as Rudy and getting the knockdown off the throw. Just kind of bullying Chip even when it's Chip's turn. All right, so gets the Gamma Blade, gonna get the knockdown from this. Yeah, sets up. I like that he sets up the fast shuriken because it's gonna let him get in without having to deal with getting around Slayer's buttons later. So it's very important to have.
Yeah, and Tyrell specifically isn't a stranger to just kind of waiting around and throwing out Gamma Blades, seeing what the opponent's going to do. It really could pay off here in this matchup as well.
I mean, again, like his main is Biken. Biken not really character that typically goes in. Backdashes through the Alpha Blade, gets the punish, has the meter. MC, you're crazy.
Yeah, this is such... Oh, but matches 6 speed to get out of the pressure.
Maybe going for throw. Another dashes through the Alpha Blade. I think that's really throwing Tillith off here. He's not sure. That Alpha's not working. He's not dying for it, so I think he's happy, but... Remember, he still has the fast shuriken. Doesn't get to use it, though. Falls off the wall and into a 5K.
Yeah, just so much damage on a character with so little health.
So it's gonna sit here, takes his time. Maybe thinking, is it time to go to Biken now? All right, hits the rematch. It is 3 out of 5, so he'd play one more game with Chip before he's got to make his final decision on if he wants to play Biken or not if he loses the game. So, I mean, that's something to be said too. Is maybe play Chip for as long as you can, and then go to Biken and just, you know, force your opponent to adapt to a whole new matchup if you're able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that is a huge factor in tournaments. After all, it's only a few games that you get to play.
Goes for the air throw here, yeah. Just gonna try to overwhelm onto Cosmo, and Carzo gets as many OTGs as he can. Doesn't tech though, and doesn't fall into the countered 6H.
Does manage to burst the correct location. I forgot the name, but the 623H is a burst point for the opponent.
Yeah, pretty much no matter what, unless Chip RCs it, you can always burst the Chip's DP8 heavy button, the one where he throws himself, that one where he flies himself in the air.
Yep.
So always a good place to burst against Chip. Otherwise, it can be kind of difficult.
Actually, it looks a lot like the other Alpha Blade that's inscribed that he has.
Oh yeah, the upwards Alpha Blade, yeah.
Yeah.
Use that 5K mash just to keep him checked. I like that. Oh, with the 5P mash and the 5K mash right back. I like that. Even if Slayer ends a combo in Mappa, know your options there because Slayer's not necessarily in a situation where he's plus. You can kind of take a turn back and play a guessing game there.
Yeah, most notably Pot has some defensive options against after getting hit by that. But we are going to see some Slayer pressure. No,
I think going for the baited delayed, but Rudy not biting. Walks into his throw range, unfortunately.
And
the invisible into the 5D, reaches halfway across the screen.
Yeah, just one hit away from death.
Yeah, throws out the fast shuriken, ends up wasting it. Doesn't burst, just gonna, oh no, bursts later into the 5D combo, and yep, there it is.
Into the air grab, yep.
Yeah.
It's so tempting to just kind of jump in the void, anything your opponent can do, but Chip with the teleport YRC just makes that such a dangerous option.
Yeah, I've spoken to it before, but you never want to be in a situation where you're in a position for where an air throw can kill you and Chip has 25 meter, because at that point you're just not allowed to jump anymore. So it's very scary to be in that situation, especially if you yourself do not have 25 meter to kind of jump in YRC right back.
Yeah, and honestly, you'll find yourself kind of jumping unconsciously.
Yeah, it's
one of these situations. So
it's one of those things where you look back at yourself and go like, wait, why am I jumping?
Yeah, it's so tempting to get out of danger's way, but you're just kind of putting yourself in more, if anything.
Jump out after getting hit by the Mappa there, and just gonna try to take his turn back with the YRC. Ooh, too early on the leaf
weak grab going over the opponent despite still staying on the ground.
Yeah, it's got a ton of active frames, so you kind of don't even have to delay it, but you still want to delay it because Chip can actually go soaring past the opponent then they'll be throwable while you're already past them. So definitely something you still want to delay a bit if you can. Gets the counter hit JH, doesn't get a knockdown from it though. And the counter and the 5AP anti-air into conversion drops it, unfortunately.
Yeah, both players really looking for each other's defensive options when they do have the corner. And
He's getting a burst back here, and it doesn't even matter. Yeah,
the game.
GG.
Yeah.
I think that was smart though. Basically, Mondo Cosmo was always getting his burst back and baited the burst. And Turlo just didn't burst, knowing that he was getting his burst baited, but unfortunately did tech buttons and got counter hit and Chip with the lowest stun rating in the game. Staying on Chip though, going to be locked into Chip for the rest of this match. Going to have to win 2 games to. Going to say no. I'm going to win it with Chip, or it's not a win at all. So.
Yeah, scary situation to be in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how good the matchup rating of Biken versus Slayer is, but I do think that is better than Chip versus Slayer. So.
Yeah, getting the proper OK, that is a cross-up.
Good instant blocks there. Gets the 6P, probably doing a throw OS there. Good instant blocks to get his turn back, and it doesn't block the standing dust.
We're actually getting the OK off that. I'm surprised I haven't seen that.
Oh, but messes up Mizuki's MA situation. Gets power bucket for it. Has to burst or else.
Ganelo TG.
Yeah, not quite
quite.
enough to kill. But run up 2K catches him.
Yeah. Chip, of course, playing a bit defensively on that start. You don't really want to risk anything that early.
And especially, you're a round up and no burst. The longer you can stay alive, the more burst bit gauge you can get back. And against Slayer, a character that can kill you very quickly, Chip might honestly, even if he loses this round, might not get his burst back even.
Yeah,
So.
interrupting that is late just in time.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, ooh, you could have died there, buddy. But
Yeah, that was so close to death just from that one hit.
catches the Alpha Blade. That's why it's so scary. Has the fast shuriken now.
Yeah, so many of these Alpha Blades in neutral paying off.
I mean, we saw MC earlier just dashing through the Alpha Blades almost on reaction, but now Turtle's starting to catch him and just mash the super out. No burst. Gonna stay alive. That was definitely he smelled some. This is real. I'm gonna mash out the super, and we're gonna see what happens.
Well, match point here.
Yeah, last match to go. So
Alpha Blade?
nope, not going for the Alpha Blade. Just kind of jumping around, trying to see if MC is gonna overextend on anything and see where he can get the touch. Gets the corner knockdown though. I like it.
Yeah, characters who are guaranteed very overwhelming offense like Chip kind of paradoxically want to play more passively in neutral.
Yeah, it's something I've talked about specifically to newer Jam players, but because like especially with rushdown characters, you think I have to get in so I can win, but remember you got 99 seconds on the clock. You will get in eventually, and then you can win then. So just chill, just take it easy until you get in. Like it'll happen. Don't worry about it.
You aren't telling your new Jam players to use TK Ryujin in neutral?
No, I do not tell them to do that. They figure that out on their own.
I see. Figures.
Well, going into this final match with a perfect on the first round and a burst here. Mashes out a good stagger mash, gets out of the bite, doesn't give him the combo here.
Just in time. And this is a really good start for Chip, but this is so huge. Chip Slayer has meter as well.
Yeah, it burst. Oh, unfortunately didn't get the combo, but burst anyway. That's really scary because now he's at such a life deficit and he's going to have to live. At best, he can try to stay alive as long as possible during this round with this low life bar to try to get as much burst back as possible.
Oh, so many amazing opportunities, but none of them really capitalized on.
Yeah, gonna just back off here. I like it. Oh, went for the 2K and Mondo Cosmo jumped later. No, Turtle got a decent chunk of burst bar back, but gonna come down to match point.
Honestly, he should be able to get it back by the end, but you never know with Slayer and how much damage
Slayer
he does.
Can get one good counter hit, and that could be it, right? So
Yep. Watching the jump. It's all okay, just stay calm.
Pile bunker has to RC it. All right, that's really good for Rudy here because having to RC that pile bunker means Mondo Cosmo probably won't kill you. He'll get his burst back now, so.
Yeah, the throw actually catching the forward dash.
Oh no! Missed an input and got the DP! Alright, he got his burst back here though, so he can take one hit and burst then.
Yeah, baiting the burst there as well with the P teleport after the combo.
Yeah, we're gonna get the... Has to burst there, yeah. Safe to burst because he doesn't have meter. Oh, the gold burst!
And
What's he gonna
both
do with
players
it?
full on meter.
Yeah, just dead angle out. Okay, I like that. Now, Chip has 50 meters, so he still really has to be careful. You
Oh, and that's the game.
Yep, just gets the hit while invisible. That Find Me paid off.
Yeah, such a close match throughout the entire set, honestly.
Yeah, it definitely came down just to that last bit. And I think having that invisibility on him is kind of what made Monocosmo just hesitate just long enough that Turleth could get the hit and having the meter RC and finish it off.
And now Turleth versus, let's see. Yeah, Cade it's going to be.
It's going to be Leo versus Chip. Now, Cade was the one that set Turleth into loser's bracket originally, so I think Turleth going to take a little bit of a break here. Maybe wind down some heart rate, definitely probably pounding out of his chest after that finisher on that round. But guess what? You got to play grand finals now, so.
Yeah, and this is another super high damage output character that he's going to face against.
Yeah, I mean, Chip versus Leo is one of those matches where Chip wins for 90% of the match, then gets counter hit, dies. Like a lot of Leo matchups, really.
And I want to see a back turn H into the super confirm.
Yeah,
See like 80% of his health.
From what I've been told from Mr. K and such, like the Leo matchup doesn't begin until Leo's in Hellfire State and has 50 meter, because that's when he's terrifying. Oh, good jump out of the Alpha Blade and punishes the Alpha Plus. I didn't know he could do that, but
Yeah,
Leo's
honestly,
short jump actually made it work.
It's a unique way to deal with Alpha Blade.
Yeah. Alright, gonna get out the fireball, forces Chip to move, uses the triple jump, misses the air throw, gonna get punished for it.
Ooh, calling out the jump but not succeeding.
Alright, just kind of teleporting a bunch of neutral there, just trying to bait Cade out into doing something. Doesn't do anything with it, they'll get knocked down. It's a back turn stance, jumps out.
Being patient for the most part, really good to see.
Oh no, drops the combo, but the Alpha Blade pays off.
Yeah, this should end the game actually if he doesn't
Oh,
get the
that
combo.
will.
Yep,
Dropped your combo into a reset. That we call that intentional.
works out.
Yep. It's Leo, he's holding down back anyway. Ooh, gets the counter at 5H, but doesn't get the confirm off of it. One of Chip's best starters, unfortunately, just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, now Leo really having to work for his pressure.
It manages to get in, but Chip just 6Bs him, immediately bursts. Yeah, Chip just Alpha Blades away and just gets away from Leo. I like this because this is kind of one of the better ways to me to fight Leo, is just run away from him and force him to come try to chase you down some. Because Leo, not the best approaches. You can really cover his Berserker slash approach pretty easily. And if you're able to do that and just watch for the instant air dash, it's hard for him to make any sort of progress on you.
Yeah, of course, being one of the lower mobility characters with a step dash instead of a traditional dash, and just kind of being a slower in general in terms of movement.
Oh, the Chicago punish on the DP means that he doesn't actually kill him off the DP. Come on, Turlo, you're showing. I appreciate that you are from Chicago, but please punish a DP with a combo. Gets caught, doesn't FD on the jump out.
Wonder what Chip is looking for here.
He's looking for a blitz, I think, but
throws. Okay, good.
Yeah. Scramble situation. That's all. Scrambles is all that looked like to me.
At least that DP was punished.
Yeah, with another throw.
Yep.
As for a combo here.
I mean, close the
Yeah,
round,
whatever
so
was
it's good
correct.
enough. Yeah.
Oh,
Marcus Washanti already. Leo has these like really odd hitboxes on a lot of his normals. They can really hit you at unexpected turns.
Yeah, I think like his far slash is definitely something like you basically have to 6B, otherwise it's really hard to deal with. And of course, you can't whiff punish it because you can just whiff cancel it into standing heavy and then you explode. So, speaking of exploding, that was a Leo versus Chip round if I've ever seen one.
Yep. Ooh.
Oh, the SDP at round start actually pays off for him, gets the knockdown.
Yeah, bursting real early again. Chip is a character that has a lot of hits in his combos, generally speaking.
Yeah, bursting against these lower damage characters like Chip or Ramathal is really not a bad idea because you'll get it back. You'll definitely get it back like another time in the match. They hit you so many times and with such little damage that every time they hit you, you get a little bit more burst back. So.
And both of these players, and just in the intermediate bracket in general, they are making the correct decisions, but oftentimes, or not often enough, are they making the correct execution to be able to convert off of these correct guesses on OT. So just picking that kind of thing will really improve gameplay a ton.
It's one of those things that's just like sometimes you gotta sit down in training mode and really grind out what you're trying to do, and of course, and playing in tournament enough to get past the tournament nerves.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time just making sure everything is working as intended.
Yeah, something I try to tell both beginners and intermediates is that it's important to remember in tournament, you're fighting a human, and that means that do you have tournament nerves? Yes, absolutely. But you know who else has tournament nerves? Your opponent. So if you can keep that in mind and just try to calm down and think, I'll crack, but I'll just have to crack after my opponent does.
Or crack less than my opponent does.
Yeah, just like it's not about not cracking. It's just about wait for your opponent to feel the pressure and screw up first, and then you can win.
Guys, literally everyone has nerves, and it's not just in games, it's also just like in any performance field where you have to perform in front of an audience or anything like that. It's not unique to you or any person who isn't a professional. So just keep in mind that literally everyone has nerves, so try to play around it if you can.
Yeah, well, maybe Peppery Splash doesn't, I'm not sure.
Well, I'm not even sure if he's not sure if he has emotions to begin with, so.
Yeah, so, alright. Torlith having to burst there, got a strong round start from Torlith, got a large life lead here, but immediately bursts as soon as he gets pressured.
Yeah, it should be a huge punish, but...
And thank you for doing an actual punish on the DP, gets the knockdown.
At least it's a combo.
Yeah, gets the combo, and I think what he was going for there was a setup to punish with the OTG hit to keep him from DPing again. Didn't work out from here, and this might be round, actually, no.
Yeah, gets greedy, tries to reset with the overhead.
I think he needed to get one more hit to kill, and just goes for the run-up leaf throw, and Cade didn't go for backdoor punch. Didn't hit jump out.
Leaf throw with running momentum, covering such a huge distance, and crossing out with the teleport now.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, crossing up Leo is an option, but not necessarily a safe one because he has that flash kick input. Go to anti with the 5k. So much damage for basic combo. An early burst again. Yeah, Cage immediately bursting here. Ooh, I like it. Gets the stagger, runs up and throws. Yep.
Yep, another huge opportunity. This is going to be a mix.
And goes for the safe jump. Safe jump into the tick throw attempt. That's how you deal with charged characters.
Could actually kill if you went for the anti-guts combo, but gonna close it out anyways.
We're going up 2-1 here, and I'm sorry that it is on the losing side of the bracket. So if he wins one more match, he'll reset the bracket, and we can get another 3 out of 5 here between the two players. So let's start get away from him and.
Yep.
Gamma Blade's +5, but Cade don't care. Cade's pressing buttons.
Sometimes you just gotta B+, even though you're minus.
Really good safe there. Just you got the knockdown to walk forward to look and see what he did. He did a DP, so he got the punish for it. Yeah, Rudy playing really safe around the flash kicks there. Gets the backdoor stance, smashes out.
Really shuriken. Always funny to see how chip players make use of the slow shuriken in particular. Sometimes it'll just be used as a just a long-lasting projectile, but other times there's some really creative ways to use it too.
I mean, every chip's got a little bit of Sarvitz in them, and that Sarvitz usually comes from how they use the slow shuriken, right? So definitely seen some shit with slow shuriken into like teleport to cross up. So
I mean, unfortunately, most of the time it's just used as a preparation for the faster one. But
so gets the knockdown. The slow shuriken there actually catches Leo. That's something that Rudy might be able to develop more. Just the slow shuriken on the knockdown to set up the tick throw off timing.
Yeah, I'm really surprised the second hit of that DP connected as well, but of course it's low hitboxes, so...
Oh, good blitz. Yeah, see, that's a safe jump option there, so Leo really can't do a flash kick on that teleport Okizeme, but you can blitz it. So that's like out of the first blitz we've seen now.
Yeah, this is another proper combo off of a DP punish.
Yep, gets the knockdown.
Yeah, I like meter to work with too.
Yeah, I like the OTG into 2H there too. He's trying to catch Cade doing tech forward buttons and would absolutely win the round. Unfortunately, JS goes punish. This is a bad situation to be in.
Yeah, Chip has all the tools he needs, though.
Yeah, he has all the meter in the world. Gonna RC it, just gonna goes for the reset.
And this is reset point for Chip.
Yep. I don't think he had quite the amount of confidence that he could kill with the RC scaling and all the number of hits he was going to get off that combo, so he just went for the reset. So,
He's gonna trade
Gamma Blade. The late JS to catch the overhead and the unfortunate burst. Gamma Blade to punish, gets the knockdown, goes for, I think, throw actually. I think he was trying to throw it if he tried to wake up Blitz again.
Oh, that is huge.
Yeah, it's going to be big because this is going to put Rudy in the corner. Mashing 2P going to get caught. He's got to burst. Yeah, had to burst. Didn't get punished.
Such a, and trading with the projectile. Such a high pressure situation.
Yeah, so that's going to put Cade 2-2. Going to keep himself from getting reset. One more chance to end this tournament in this next match.
And True does have the option of switching to Bike in here as well.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if he does switch because a lot of characters, a lot of players in this tournament are used to fighting Baiken, and I mean Baiken versus Leo, not necessarily a great matchup for Baiken. Hurazami kind of doesn't matter much against Leo. He can definitely play around it. So. All right, does get a knockdown off that sweep off of an air hit.
Yeah, the Chip 2D just anti-airing at the last possible range.
Chip 2D notable a low crush that hits low, so actually can deal pretty well. And again, going for the flash kick. Cade going for a lot of these flash kicks and not really hitting too much off of them. And I'm glad to see Turleth is making his punishes count on them too, because that's really important.
Yeah, although Leo's DP does give you a lot of time to punish him, so I do wonder if he could be a little bit more optimal with the damage.
Frankly, I don't know because I don't play Chip, so, but I'm just glad to see that he's not going for because you know if every time they DP you just throw them to punish them.
Yeah, and that is going to be the round.
Yep. I think it was the opposite of the matchup where I talked to Bears about it, but Bears' kind of strategy was I'm going to DP, and if you don't kill me for DPing, I'm just going to keep DPing. So
yeah,
definitely something you just got to have those punishes down on those big buttons like that.
Yeah, punishes on DPs, just in general versus any character, one of the most important things you need to lap right away when you start playing Guilty Gear.
Yeah, I think that was like the first thing I tried to figure out when we had survived.
That's huge damage.
He's dead, so.
Yep.
That was over halfway risk bar, so combo wasn't even done.
Oh, around start SDP.
So this is tournament point, reset point for both players. Whoever wins this round, we're going to see the fate of the intermediate tournament. Invisible punishes the flash kick. That was really dirty safe setup. Cade went for the flash kick on it anyway, but it was actually safe. So
yeah, nice jump on that actually. It's trying to be as safe as possible on defense.
Yep.
And you really got to watch out for the DP that Leo has.
Yeah. Overextended a little bit, got caught out. This is scary. Got caught by the overhead.
This is so huge. This could be the game.
Is knockdown from this? No, base the burst instead.
Oh, the late follow-up. And
right.
Yeah, so now this is huge trouble for Leo. He has trouble enough trying to get in on Chip in the neutral game.
Possibly catastrophic execution drop there. Didn't get the confirm, and yet let Cade get out, and that's going to be Cade winning intermediate bracket here. Congratulations, 3-2. I'm going to send Rudy home with a loss for once in an intermediate bracket. Maybe trying to, stay in it longer.
Yeah, super cool set, and just the stray hits on the end, just paying off so much for Leo.
Yeah, so, I mean, good work on getting the DP punishes down. I think that was really important. So, just unfortunately couldn't quite make the hits count in neutral and couldn't quite get away from Leo, I think, enough. So,
yeah, so here's some good news for all the intermediate players. From what I've seen, it seems like there's a lot of room for improvement when it comes to execution. And execution is the easiest part of Guilty Gear that you can improve on.
Yeah, absolutely. All that requires is going into training mode and grinding it out, right? Like, the hard part is figuring out, like, okay, how do I break my bad habits? How do I play neutral better? How do I manage my meter.
Yeah, and even just like, how do I make my pressure just not drop as often? Just focusing on this kind of thing will lead to such huge improvements right now for everyone in this bracket. So I do really recommend you guys take a look at your own gameplay, and you'll notice how many times you're dropping things that you feel like you shouldn't be. And this applies to pretty much anyone, or yeah, pretty much like 99.9% of all players that play the game.
Yeah.
They'll notice a ton of stuff dropping that they feel like they shouldn't be dropping. So just fixing those kind of things can lead to really huge improvements.
Yeah, I'll say that, like, especially back when I was younger and like had all the time in the world to play Guilty Gear, I would sit there and I would grind out like instant air dash Gekirine over and over and over. I would just do that for hours. So it definitely is worth the time investment. But anyway, we're going back to beginner bracket. Who's going to graduate this week out of NKO 14? We're Puddins versus Elidus in winners final. So this is 3 out of 5 here. What is your feeling on Dizzy versus Eddie or Zato? This is not a matchup I really have seen.
Yeah, so this is another matchup between two different summon characters, and both characters can deal with each other's summons fairly equally well. Zato, of course, has his far drill to contest. Dizzy has a bunch of different tools to do so, or in general, Dizzy is in a more favorable situation if she is allowed to summon.
Right
Zato,
now, Puddin's looking really strong, I'd say, through this round with the anti-airs and just space control with Eddie on the screen.
Yeah, in terms of the overall game plan, just making sure that the other player can't summon is going to be the biggest part of the game.
I think Puddin's showing that in action. Almost every time Elidus went for a summon was punished either by a drill or a Nobiru or even an air throw, so Puddin's definitely showing really a lot of strength there. Yeah, just jabs the fish, gets rid of it.
Yeah, and it is going to be Zato trying to approach Dizzy, and Dizzy trying to zone as much as possible.
Braids with the fire bubble there. Alright, Elidus finally gets a knockdown, finally gets some race started, but let's Puddins fly out of the corner and take the space.
Yeah, 2D, not a great place to burst because he has the option of BTL, but doesn't go for it this time.
Puddins fighting from a life disadvantage, just going to break the law to get in and
That is
Nobiru.
huge damage. Yeah, that is...
Also, Nobiru has a lot of stun modifier to it, right? And Dizzy with the lowest stun modifier in the game, so...
Yep.
What, 2 counter hit Nobiru's 3 maybe, and that's a stun.
Yeah, just... Well, if you can get it unblockable, then just 1.
Okay, yeah, so, you know, don't get counter hit by Nobiru. That's what
Yep.
you're saying.
Yep.
Alright, it's time for some Eddie pressure. Gonna unsummon Eddie there.
Yeah, letting go of Eddie pressure there, going for an unsummon. So this is something I notice a lot with Puddins, where he'll kind of have pressure and then let go of it by unsummoning. And it can work in some situations, but there are a lot of times where you just want to keep going with your pressure.
He's gonna get a burst back, or Elidus gets a burst back at the last minute. Break the
That
wall.
is actually pretty dangerous.
That goes under. Okay, cool.
Okay, so the
not
super... Yeah, the super actually working against Dizzy here. It made it harder to see where Zato was going.
Yeah,
Because it was very possible that he could just rise up earlier and try and get up before the laser hits him.
I don't know if Puddins necessarily knew where he was. I think he kind of did that and just held down the button. And I don't know if they know what that interaction is, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Elidus was not ready for that. So
Yeah, Guilty Gear game with a lot of really specific interactions like this, so it's hard to know each one of them. But we are back to neutral.
yeah, gonna pull Eddie back in and just, you know, I like to just kind of throw out the Nobiru every once in a while because Elidus is definitely going into the air a lot, going for a lot of air dashes, kind of like you mentioned earlier.
They do end up working out a lot of these, but okay, 6H.
Yeah, definitely going for a throw and got the 6H instead. You get tagged in the air. Doesn't get the lightweight combo, so it's a black beat with no knockdown, unfortunately. Eddie has to take all this time to get back.
But does he not really working on capitalizing on the downtime that Eddie has?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely when Eddie's gone and that bar is red down there, you kind of gotta really make your chance to either feint an approach and whiff punish Zato, or just get the hell in there and run him over, because he really has no good ways to fight back without Eddie to cover for him. So
Yep, of course, he does have a few tricks up his sleeve like that Shadow Glider Rise you just saw, but
good awareness punish with the 5D too. Strong punish, knowing Eddie's going to eat the hit of the super and just, you know, overhead, sure.
And again, huge damage potential off that counter interview, but not really converting off it.
Yeah, I think maybe Puddin's just not quite ready for the counter he confirms, but I think it's good to know your limits, especially in tournament too. Just go with the basic confirm to prevent yourself dropping something and giving your opponent a chance, right? So,
Yeah, practically speaking, settling for lower rewards can pay out quite a bit, especially in tournaments.
the air throw there.
Yeah. Oh, that is...
He's gonna RC, and actually Nobiru hits out of the startup, ending the super. I did not know that super ended if you hit Dizzy.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising, actually. I've never seen that before.
But right now, Elidus is 0 for 3 on supers to get out of whatever Puddins is doing. So here comes Eddie. Gonna have to FD this and does not. Gonna get chipped out.
Yeah, literally every single Eddie attack has chip damage, so you do need to FD it if you're low on health.
They are special moves. So Puddin's going up 2-0, looking really strong in this matchup.
Mm-hmm. Oh, not rocking the intro.
We've already seen it twice already. Go ahead and skip it. Oh, thread the needle past the drill, and the Nobiru gets in and gonna try to summon here.
Oh, gets a knockdown off a stray 5H neutral.
Yeah, gonna let him tick out. Ooh, okay, I like the jab. We gets rid of Eddie. Now it's time to go in. Time to go in and get your knockdown.
Yeah, Zato can't actually reflect anything that Dizzy has, despite them being projectiles, so
Yeah.
most likely an execution error.
You know, one thing I have also noticed is that Elidus does go a lot for the fire bubble into the pop. While it's strong, unfortunately, they're never really set up in a situation where they can get a knockdown from it. So,
Yeah, really good knockdown here, and stuns the meter for the proper OQ.
Oh, hits Eddie, doesn't care, gonna punish him for it. Blitz is out finally, yeah. But that's gonna send Eddie at full screen, and I keep calling him Eddie. I'm an XX player originally. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I think, yeah, he's also in Stride, right?
Yeah, he's just not.
Okay.
One day I'll get it right. All right, again, you gotta start FDing, buddy. All right, dead angle's out, but that's gonna leave you even less meter here to FD whatever Zato's doing to you with his puppet.
Yeah, similarly with Axel, being low health against this character, not a good spot at all.
Yeah, I guess a lot of the assassins just being that one touch away, like Venom, also a character that can do tons of chip damage. Toll and Kai similarly, where it's just like you kind of got to hold on to your meter.
And neither character really wants to let each other get free knockdowns like that off of just block screen 2Ds.
I will say Puddin's definitely making their knockdowns count for a lot more. Like we're seeing this Eddie pressure come in here, whereas Elidus kind of gets a knockdown and maybe summons a fish, but doesn't necessarily get it. Going for like the 6H overhead, and might need to go for a little bit more of the high-low. So
yeah, and probably also some of the most impressive arrow throws we've seen so far in this entire tournament so far from Puddins.
yeah, I'd say like out of NKO specifically, I'd say Puddins and Lasagna probably have the best air throws I've seen in this tournament. Both of them just amazing players at getting that air throw, especially for the level that they're at.
Yeah, I mean, both characters, well, Zato kind of has it as a necessity, but Venom also has a just really good reward off of all of his throws, so definitely it'll work out for him as well.
Oh, catches the jump out with the upfish, and Elidus finally getting around on the board here, fighting back just from the brink of getting sent down to losers.
Yeah, I tried to throw the air attack, but just throws out the button, works out anyways.
Yep.
Next round.
And now they're going to air throw. Oh, you're going to air dash at me? All right, cool. Get knocked down.
Yep.
Maybe getting a little bit scrambly here. Seems like missing some execution.
Yeah, he tried to dash into summon there, but ends up getting a 6H instead.
I think Eddie wasn't quite back yet, and just okay, jumps back and blitzes the laser, but doesn't really get anything from it. All right, Puddin's getting tagged by a lot of stuff here. I think maybe a little bit panicking, a little bit frustrating. That's going to be round burst, but it's on same burst point. Yeah.
Yeah, these straight hits from Dizzy really adding up to be detrimental to Zato.
Yeah, Puddin's mashes that rematch, but I really want to see him maybe take 30 seconds before he hits the rematch button, because he's starting to look a little bit flustered. Just wants to win this and wants to advance to grand finals already. Good throw though.
This huge damage potential.
Still just doesn't quite have that lightweight combo down. The drill in front of him, yeah, good space control with the 2H.
Yeah, honestly, really good responses overall versus everything Dizzy is trying to do.
Oh no, don't want to
Executor.
burst that!
Ooh.
Alright,
I would have liked to
he's
see
right there.
Executor.
Jump out with Nobidu. Alright, yeah, gonna have to block. Oh, I'm sorry for laughing, but that was just a Zato moment.
Yeah, it's just
Counter hit by 2P across the
we're
screen.
all used to it, don't worry.
Alright, just gonna walk up, tries to throw, but gets the 6H. Wasn't close enough to throw, actually, and since he didn't special cancel the 6H, gonna get punished on the hit. Unfortunate. Alright, Shadow Gallery pays off, gonna get the knockdown from a drill. Gonna summon Eddie.
Yeah,
And
those
there.
Shadow Galleries as a response to approaches in the air surprisingly work out pretty well. Especially if your opponent isn't used to the way it works, and that's going to be a whip burst.
So opponents might be able to get their burst back by the time this match is over there. Dizzy is a character that is not doing too much damage, so gonna get the knockdown. Ooh, the trade, I like that. Elidus using that 6P. Dizzy 6P is so good because it's a good hitbox, and on counter hit sends your opponent flying across the screen, gives her that space she needs. Good block on the overhead. Throw, do some Okizeme.
Gets the knockdown, and this is huge.
This is really big because Dizzy doesn't really even have much meter here.
Yeah,
Fights
again,
the way out, the blitz rejects! Just the jump out with Nobiru. This is really scary for Dizzy here. One more touch is gonna do it.
You really don't want to be in the air while Nobiru or Eddie is out on the field.
Yeah, it's so hard to move around where Nobiru is, and you kind of got to know where Nobiru is too, and comes down to a scramble.
Yeah, throw attempt turned into a 6H, ending up working out.
So Puddins is gonna move on to Grand Finals 3-1. Imp, are you in the lobby already? Yes, you are. All right, Imp versus Ellen.
Okay. So again, this is going to be
Dizzy versus Axel. So
Dizzy Axel? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is. I think I've heard Dizzy players not necessarily a big fan of this matchup, but it kind of goes either way. Pretty even as far as I've heard. Obviously, like Dizzy can't really just say it full screen and summon because Axel can just poker for it. The 2 hits on the chance is really important because Fish only eats 1. But of course, Axel only really has a shitty DP as his reversal option. So,
Yeah,
one
that being said,
Dizzy,
yeah, the way Dizzy wants to move around is via air dashes, and Axel does have the tools to catch that early on. So we'll have to see how neutral works out for these two characters.
This is losers finals, so this is gonna be 3 out of 5. Loser this, welcome to 3rd place. Winner of this, get to fight Puddins for a rematch. Both these players are knocked in the losers bracket by Puddins, so
Maybe some more Zato experience.
alright. Imp caught in the corner, willing to fight their way out. I think Imp is probably person in NKO most willing to fight while back to the wall. They find themselves in the corner, and they find themselves not moving forward out of the corner that often, just fighting their way out with Axel almost. So
Yeah, honestly, I can tell already this is going to be a battle of how well you can deal with Axel's shenanigans.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be hard to deal with that 6H, I think, because unless you're used to IBing it and knowing what Axel can do after it, he can kind of just reset pressure for free. He doesn't really get much reward off of it, but unless you can force him to stop it, he's got no reason to keep you going for it because it's so safe.
Yeah, gotta show him that you know how to deal with it first.
And round
another
3 GP, just,
the third
you
one
know...
in this tournament.
I think maybe a little bit unfamiliar with how the bubble works, since Dizzy has to hit the bubble with something to force it to pop, and kind of jumped up and respected the bubble that wasn't touched. So, I mean, bubble does nothing but look pretty unless Dizzy touches it.
Yeah.
Like DP catches Elidus. I really want to see them work on their Okizeme a little bit.
Yeah, though honestly, I'm kind of surprised by how how good the DP timings are.
First use of D-Fish, though, pays off. I think smart going for it because it's going to eat that one hit and punish Axel, and immediately supers as soon as danger time starts up.
Huge.
Yeah, because that's going to give them what they want. And the
Not
fuzzy
actually going to punish. the recovery on the super is super fast.
Yeah, I think that super is like +7 on block or something similar. Good Rensengeki to punish the summon at full screen and gets caught at the very edge of 6H.
Blitz is the key.
Yeah,
Please blitz 6H.
hat blitzing 6H, jumping into air block, instant blocking it in the air is another good way to punish it. Parry if you're jam. I think some characters can even 6P it pretty reliably. So
Yeah, I imagine if you're like a Venom or the sorts, you can probably do that.
yeah, Venom or I think Ant can as well. Really strong run from Imp right now. Unfortunately, got to learn your lightweight character combos. Remember, if you're fighting a girl in this game, expect them to float a little bit higher. So, all right, gets the Okizeme, bursts out of it. All right, Imp just getting caught air to air. Imp kind of has that habit still of jumping up a lot, but against Dizzy, that's not too bad because getting hit in the air against Dizzy means she doesn't necessarily get a knockdown against you because it's very hard, if not impossible, for her to convert into a knockdown from an air hit.
Yeah, not the worst thing to happen, but so many raw, just straight hits leading to damage.
Alright, so yeah, gets the 2H. Elidus is getting checked on a lot of these block string summons by Imp, so that's really good awareness from Imp just to throw out a 2H or throw out a Rensengeki, just wait until the block string is over and then press the button, so...
Yeah, and then also, super glad all these players are blocking that charge 6H.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten to the point where it's like, this looks and smells like an overhead, I should probably block it, so...
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not working, then it's time to stop doing it, time to start doing some other mix-ups.
Oh, the fish eating the DP, but no punish.
Yeah, unfortunately too hard for the 6H to hit. And the empty jump throw, gonna end the round. No, gonna get the knockdown from it though. So here's the Okizeme. Yeah, blocks the standard 6H. The fish eats the hit. Dizzy doesn't punish.
Oh, that could have been a kill, but
FD.
doesn't matter.
Oh.
Got chipped out. Yeah, I saw the block spark. So, both players just kind of sitting at full screen or away from each other here.
Yeah, just running in a lot of 2Hs here, and they do build up a lot of risk over time.
Elidus finds the knockdown, summons the fish, tries to get in some space. There's the Axle Bomber under. Oh, but going for the unblockable there, not a bad idea, but you kind of got to see if your opponent's willing to tech or not. Now see, because if Elidus had back tech, that would have worked, but he didn't. So, him just like, all right, you're
a lot of waiting.
Press buttons at you. Gets the knockdown, the ice spike, summons the fish, catches the jump out. Fuzzies has to burst. Good string there from Elidus. Gonna get a lot of momentum off of that, but gets caught by the 6H and immediately bursts.
And it's just going to be more scrambles until the end.
Yeah, it looks like... And there's the first ice spike by RC to win the round. Finally pulling it out.
Yeah, it ends up working out really well.
I don't think we've seen a single one of those from them all tournament. And finally says, you know what? Fuck neutral. I've got fit 25 meter.
I mean, it works, so...
Something that maybe we're going to see more of here now and kind of force Imp to respect a little bit more, because that's something that we've seen is that, like, Elidus hasn't been frame trapping at the end of the block strings. They've just been going for the summon and get caught by 2H or Rensengeki, and I'm pretty sure Dizzy can just frame trap with Fire Pillar or Ice Spike.
Yeah, both characters, well, Dizzy in particular does have a lot of offensive options that can be much more diverse.
Yeah. Dizzy, I think, one of those characters that's kind of hard for beginners to play out because she has so many options on her offense. It's very easy to learn your favorite block string and do your favorite block string, but at some point you're going to have to learn how to vary all of your options because that's really where they get scary.
Yeah, not only different options, but also it's necessary to learn different routes for different characters. This is a character that has a ton of them that need to be learned.
Yeah, so Imp winning that first round there and going for the round start right. I like that both players are also kind of like willing to sit at full screen because neither one of these characters needs to go in. Obviously, Axel needs to be close enough that he can stop Dizzy from summoning, but Just finally starting to get some Okizeme pressure going here.
Yeah, I feel like I just saw one frame of IK.
Yeah, I think I saw it too. I wouldn't be able to say anything. Maybe a little bit. Maybe I don't know if maybe these players are Blaze Blue players on the side. Maybe getting a little bit of Blaze Blue bursting, but
Oh yeah.
ooh, there's the tick throw off the projectile. Very strong option.
Yep. Very standard Dizzy offense.
Yeah, fun fact, Dizzy is a grappler, so player like one sometimes. Alright, yeah, summons and immediately FD's ready for that, but just at that range was safe enough to block the 2H.
And again, Dizzy does have to find a way to get in while trying to avoid all these normals.
There's one way, and with punishing the up after the Rensengeki, very good to see players actually punish that, because a lot of people have trouble with punishing the Rensengeki follow-ups.
Thought you were gonna say I spike YRC.
Yeah, I mean that's also a really thing to do. Is just Ice Spike YRC is a really smart idea. Just watch your meter. So
Yeah, I mean, approaching with YRC, again, really important versus Axel universally. So not being afraid to use that meter to get in can be really important.
dead angles, but it doesn't counter hit, so no knockdown from it. It's unfortunate. And danger time. Here we go. What's the route option going to be? It's going to be mash 2P.
Just a lot of 2Ps.
Yeah, but the fish ends up covering Elidus and shoots the laser beam. All right, here's where I'm going to get on my soapbox. Danger time, when you hit somebody in danger time, it is a free roam and cancel. Do not mash whatever button you're mashing. Press it once, mash cancel. Please.
I mean, your default option after that should be to FD.
Yeah. FD or know what their default option is, and you play around that. FDing is a good first step. Jam players, Slayer players, and Leo players will all immediately try to murder you because we can. So, but yeah, generally just being safe in FDing is a good option.
Yeah, well, it's a side note, but Zato can also control Eddie during danger time, so you also do not want to be mashing versus that character either.
I've seen the gifs of just like danger time counting down and no Biru is just happening over and over. It's just like press the button. I dare you.
Yep.
Round start far slash gets punished by 2H. I like the round start options awareness from both players here.
Yeah, and you kind of do have to wonder, what is him going to do when all these 6Hs start getting blocked?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that's like... Axel, not really a character that has like a lot of mix-ups, we'll say. Like, he just kind of pressures you and tries to hit you jumping out, right? So...
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that with the 2H Renzen, but...
Oh, good summon and a YRC on the summon to make it safe. Now, Crows Imp got the gold burst here, so huge meter advantage. It's really scary for Elidus and just a little bit in range of that Rensengeki.
And yeah, it does have full meter. This is not going to be the worst of situations until
Fight finished.
this kind of thing happens.
We're going to get a knockdown. Doesn't FD in the air. Imp, I've yelled at you so many times. Jumped out and blocked, but wasn't FDing in the air, so got caught by the air unblockable 6H. To give Elidus that round, it's 2-1. The players swap sides, so I had to think about that a little bit. So this is a match point for Elidus here.
Yeah, ends the pressure a little bit early. I would try to go for some staggers as well that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, 2K staggers really well into itself. Close slash even with Dizzy, you can stagger and threaten to throw with. I really do want to see ending with a, say, Fire Pillar or something, because you're seeing these summons repeatedly and just Imp's getting a lot of mileage away from just pressing 2H every time the block string ends. You got to do something to kind of stop that being an autopilot response.
Yep. And oh, the air dash working out. And again, 2H6H.
I mean, he blocked the... We saw what happened when Elidus blocked the 6H RC and do another overhead, right? They're not going to expect the second one.
Yeah, I mean, it's working out right now, so it's fine. If you're listening to this right now, try 2H one hit into parry. And then you can just see what they're doing afterwards.
Yeah, it's very similar, actually. Jam does exactly the same thing with their own 2H into parry. Of just like, people are expecting the second hit, so you steal a little bit of frames back and try to punish them to what they're doing, so... Good
Ooh,
DP punishes, yeah.
Yeah, another really good timing on the DP.
Alright, just kind of keeping Elidus at full screen there. I like the dash up block. Elidus now, they're starting to get to the point where they're summoning and wire seeing every time they end a block string so that way they don't get punished by the 2H. And it's working out, but unfortunately, look at the meter difference. Like, they're playing basically 5 meter at a time.
6H.
Oh, and burst the Raye ends up putting Imp in the corner, forces Imp's own burst.
Oh, that was such a good anti-air opportunity, but goes for another 2H there.
Yeah, I think maybe pressed the wrong button. Unfortunately got 2H.
Yeah, they tried to go for
Not
2S.
working out. So just going to be able to run this back. Might be not quite enough to kill there. Not going to get a knockdown. Ooh, misses the air throw. Blocks the, yeah, starting to block those 6Hs reasonably well. Yeah, not punish him for it, but Imp's not able to convert anymore, so that's all it took.
Yeah, and really having to pay for all those 6Hs of the past.
Yeah. So,
Pay for you.
Yep.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, my opponent started blocking it. I'd say that one time where Imp got the 6H and Elidus blocked it, and Imp RC'd and did the JK, and it worked out. It worked that time, but that was Imp's cue. Stop pressing 6H. They know to block it now. So, definitely one of those things where it's like you can still get a win about a situation, but you gotta keep it in mind. What does that situation tell you?
Yeah, so many different things you have to consider while you're in a game, right? You just have it can help a lot to just have someone point things out, and definitely like looking at your games again is going to be a huge part of improvement, not just for beginners but any player really.
Oh, this is going to be Puddins versus Elidus. Puddins on winner's side of the bracket. So again, we're going to have to see a bracket reset here from Elidus to see if they can win it. So
Yeah, so we've seen this matchup before, and really it'll come down to how well can Dizzy prevent herself from getting knocked down by a drill when she's trying to summon. Okay, oh, the JK actually killing the fish.
yeah, so that's going to be a good knockdown for Puddins. Goes for the fuzzy, opens up Elidus here. Yeah, it goes for the 5D ender to try to get as much Eddie time back. Unfortunately, combo dropped. Oh,
Yeah,
but
that combo's really awkward to work with in
and
that
unfortunately,
spacing.
the situation of the drill just being right in front of your face and you can't walk away from him because of proxy guard. But if you try to press anything, you get counter hit by it. Really frustrating to be in, honestly.
Yep.
I think actually one of Zato's actually one of maybe his biggest nerfs was they actually reduced the range of proxy guard on the drill. That was actually a pretty important nerf to him.
That was pretty far back that they did that, right?
Yeah, I think that was like maybe early Rev 1, I think.
I think that was Revelator.
Yeah. Just, alright, knows how to get under it this time. Loses Eddie for it though, but the 6H.
Yeah, he sent him under for the super at least, but the pillar killing him off, unfortunately.
2S, such a good anti-air. Elidus going to get the first round on the board here.
Mhm.
It's really hard to come directly down on top of Dizzy because that 2S is so good. It's basically her best anti-air. Alright, Eddie out. Good patience from Elidus there. Doesn't press a button into Eddie. Doesn't get counter hit by Nobuhiro. Lets Nobuhiro come out and then punishes. But there's the air throw. Eddie time. Corner time. Just this 2K pressure.
Yeah, frame traps into unblockable. This can kill, but it goes out.
Yep. And I like that too. Elidus waited a little bit before bursting because that unblockable is also a safe jump. So you can't burst just on OTG to get out of it that way.
Yep.
Oh, drops the combo and gonna get punished for it with the throw. Now you gotta FD all this and you don't have much meter.
Yeah, super rough situation. There's like 3 or 4 mix-ups you need to block to get out of that, so tough
You have
luck.
to FD all of it too, so.
Yep. Ooh, not quite close enough for the Nobuhiro.
We get to the throw there on the landing.
Yeah, there is a lot of situations here where Zato gets the knockdown, but then he does the summon before dashing up, so he loses a lot of a lot of the distance that he needs to set up his Okizeme properly. So I would like to see some dashing before the summons after getting a knockdown.
So is that a true like dash like 236 summon sort of input where it's like the dashing quarter circle, or
You can do that, but it's a... I just do 236H out of habit, but you can do the K input instead, and it doesn't really matter.
walkable setup, and
Yeah, that's a very fake setup, but works out anyways.
hey, if your opponent doesn't know it's fake, it's real. So I do like Elidus went for the low blitz. So they saw the drill down there, and well, that set up the overhead hit first. If you're not sure, the drill almost always hits meaty, right? So a low blitz is generally your safer option there. So good evasion on that. Gets the 6B. Unfortunately, too high for the close slash to hit.
Yeah, you generally want to just do the 6P and then jump immediately for the higher stability.
The air throw there. That's going to be a knockdown. Gives him time to get Eddie back here.
Yeah, really good frame from attempts, but oftentimes we've seen them convert into nothing.
And Putin's playing a really good, patient offense here. Just kind of letting Elidus hang. Good air throw there. Gonna get the knockdown, give him time to get Eddie back.
Yeah, you don't want to combo there. You don't have enough damage to kill, and then you also want the knockdown more so than the little bit you can get.
Scrambles here in the corner. Putin's just backing away.
Oh, so dangerous. If he did the regular summon, that would have killed Dizzy.
Yeah. Alright, Eddie takes the hit. Jump back JP. Putin's needs one decent hit confirm. It just isn't able to quite make it work. And Elidus finally gets some momentum here, gets the knockdown. Time for them to play some corner time, but just Sato just flies out. They gotta get some Okizeme here.
Yeah, there's more value in that situation than you might imagine, so you need to get as much as you can out of it.
I don't think we've seen Elidus do go for one laserfish Oki. It's almost always been bitefish Oki, which it just hasn't been real, and opponents have just been jumping out of it every time. Alright, flying into the Shadow Gallery, doesn't punish the Shadow Gallery. Hard move to punish, honestly.
Yeah, you do have to lab out how to deal with that properly.
Yeah.
But one thing I should say, you can crouch under the second hit, so you do want to be crouching if you don't get hit by it already, by the first hit.
Air throws Dizzy into the corner. Yeah, wake up super, but Zato's going to be safe here. He's just going to be able to block this. Does give Dizzy the space to get out of the corner, though.
It's not the worst situation Dizzy could be in, but also just spent 50 meter on a super, not going to have tension for a while.
I don't think... now you have no meter, because that
yeah.
50 meter to super out. Into the unblockable, no beer, no hope, no life.
Yep, and even if he doesn't go into the unblockable, he can just do a combo there with Nobiru and kill you either way.
So strong showing from Puddins right now, going up 2-0, and he is on winner's side, so this could be the end of the bracket here if he can keep this momentum up.
So if he wins this, does he graduate?
Yes, I'm going to say he's definitely going to graduate. He's been an NKO since the very first one, so I've been cheering for him this entire time, and
At the very least,
so
deserves it.
So
yeah.
you decide whether they graduate or not, even if they win?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
We've had situations before where players have won, but it's, say, been a smaller bracket, or
Yeah.
it's just not quite necessarily like a decent showing. But I'd say this time, between beating Elidus and Imp, and just the improvement that we've seen, especially with a character as hard as Zato is, definitely deserving of it. And they're showing some great situational awareness. Good, the air throw is on point, and just good meter management. And as I think we've spoken to earlier, really the biggest thing they need to focus on right now is their execution. And just
cleaning up some of these OK situations and making sure these drops don't happen as often are going to lead to just so much better performance overall.
And there's the anti-air Nobiru, really good. Yeah, just set up that wall, keep your opponent from going at you. Brings Eddie back, so anti-air Nobiru again. We're just gonna have to let Eddie get back here. Good grip of damage there from Dizzy, but see again, just no Okizeme. Yeah, got the air throw. See, I believe in you. When you actually get the meaty down, you actually do some decent pressure here. So please get your meaty. pressure down.
Yeah, the dead angle not working out, but he does get the throw back, and Dizzy is back in the corner.
Yeah, this is really bad for Elidus now. Air throws him back in the corner, no escape.
Oh no, just let him knock down.
A really big. No burst there. Had an opportunity, I think, to burst there, but it went ahead and said, I'll just go into the next round. Elidus almost is their burst back, so I'll just go into the next round with my burst, and we can finish it off there.
Yeah, honestly, it feels kind of bad to burst as also when your opponent has 25 meter. They can just air dash back after getting hit by the burst, and then
Wires immediately back in and say, nope, it's still we're still dealing with me.
Yeah.
Good tick throw into
we've seen tick throw into command grab so many times so far in these sets, and they've been working out really well. So no reason not to.
For Zato to use that command throw.
Another one here.
Knocked out because it takes so long that he gets Eddie back for it.
And this could be the end of the game really easily if
Elidus has a burst and just 2H YRC. Oh, you're at the dash. Yeah, I mean, yoink.
Yep.
So graduating on a perfect, I'll say. Congratulations, putting good work and an amazing showing. Such growth all the way back from NKO 1 all the way to NKO 14. Gonna graduate there. Great showing from Elidus and Imp too. Both of you showing good improvement. Imp's been showing up into these finals week after week, and Elidus, I think this is your first time in top 3, I believe. I don't know. Somebody can fact check me on that one. So congratulations to our winners. Let's go ahead and get the photograph here.
Yeah, shout out to literally everyone that joined this tournament that's still playing Xrd, practicing. It's not looking too bright for this game, to be honest, in the future after Strive releases. But we are gonna keep on hosting tournaments like this, and if you want to play the game, then just hop on and
yeah. So we do NKO on a bi-weekly schedule. So NKO 15 will be on June 3rd, the week before Strive release. So probably going to be doing something maybe a little bit special for NKO 15. I do want it to be a bigger one because, as you mentioned, kind of a post-Strive release world is definitely looking up in the air. So let's really finish strong with NKO 15 here on the 3rd. Congratulations to Puddins for graduating. Hope to see you next time in the intermediate bracket.
Yeah, good stuff. And also, I have good news and bad news for Puddins. You want to hear it?
I assume the good news is now he's a real Zato player. The bad news is now he's a real Zato player.
That's surprisingly correct. So the good news is that he's getting a lot of like stuff that you need to know as Zato down, and they're pretty consistent when it comes to like anti-air grabs and just like general stuff that you need to know for pressure. The bad news is he's just getting to the point where you start facing intermediate players, and when you start facing intermediate players who know to deal with Zato stuff, your real, quote-unquote, real struggle begins with Zato.
Yeah, suddenly, like, none of your buttons are working. You can't anti-air anyone, and they can just, hey, I've got Eddie out. Why can they block everything I'm doing? So,
it's time to feel a lot of pain when people start killing Eddie actively.
Yeah, and waiting for you in an intermediate bracket is Turles' amazing combo of Chip and Biken, who, to my knowledge, Zato hates both of these.
Yep, incredibly so.
So,
actually, a lot of characters that Zato doesn't like. Jacko, Leo, Chip, Biken, that are in this tournament. But in any case, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead. This is Amadeus46 Art signing off. Thank you, Sinise, for joining me this week. Been a pleasure commentating with you.
Hope fun.
All on the 3rd. I'm out of here. Do any special shout outs. Thanks, Oxy, for streaming for us every time we do one of these. Bye, everyone.
Thanks to Rabbit Road FGC and FNTR for the raids, and also thanks to Drake for subscribing. All right, see you all next time.
Lily, not change the beat. The sky is not the same no more today. There is no turning back. Lily, not change the beat. Covers always judge books by today. If they are shiny or not. Every page inside is meaningful as always, but no one's gonna read them out again. Oh, please don't wait for me, darling. Stay out of the cold rain, for your heart may become rusty. Oh, please don't wait for me, darling. Don't stand there in the sea. Your soul is right now. You don't need to wait, need to wait, need to wait for us. Soft no more today. They change the cold inside. Lily, you never change. They all want a brand new box today. No matter what's inside, all these pieces that meant so much to me those days, tide has washed them all way too vain. Oh, please don't wait for me, darling. Stay out of the cold rain, for your heart may become rusty. Oh, please don't wait for me, darling. Don't stand there in this heat. Your soul is drying out. You don't need to wait, need to wait, need to wait for us. What is there to say? Everything's too late, and we all accept it that way, so be it. Time marches on.